Give me if I kill that bird. Barbara, that's a bald eagle. Get away, Baldy! Yeah!
Oh, well. Good evening, and good evening. This is The Wort with Mike, Pete, and Steve, GovsRadio.com. We're here live at the biggest and the baddest comedy store in all of Levittown. Governor's Comedy Club in the heart of Nassau County. Hits you right in the heart sometimes. Tonight, if you go into the heart of Levittown, you can actually see a wonderful Memorial Day carnival coming soon to a parking lot near you. Lots of
carnies in the lot.
I got to tell you, the one thing I did like about the carnival coming out here when I worked here is that fried Oreos. Just get a huge bag of fried Oreos and bring it in.
Oh, shit.
And that's it for the night, man. Just a couple of drinks and some fried Oreos, and you're good to go. Thanks everyone for checking in tonight. We are live on Facebook, live on YouTube, and of course always live on our radio station, GovsRadio.com. We are also taking phone calls tonight, 516-465-3990, 516-465-3990. Before we begin tonight, we have some sponsors we need to get through. We're going to kick it off right away, Steve, with Rosie's Draft Solutions.
Rosie's Draft Solutions is a Long Island family-owned business that provides professional draft beer system services, line cleanings and maintenance, draft beer line system installs, event dispensing solutions, and more. They are passionate about craft beer, making sure that it has the same quality.
My job is always to mess up your read as you're doing it. Just throw some stuff in there.
As when he left the brewery, and it's only done by making sure that the lines are perfectly clean.
Clean and tight.
Rosie services bars, restaurants, halls, events, and all other beverage establishments, including home kegerator installs across Long Island and Westchester. You can reach them at rosiesdraftsolutions@gmail.com or call them at 631-219-2075, Monday through Sunday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Mention the Wort.
And you're going to get a bag of fried Oreos.
Wow, that'd be awesome.
That'd be great.
Wow.
Nick will come
Sorry,
through.
Nick.
Maybe some fried Twinkies go with it.
Ooh.
That's right. Give Nick a call at Rosie's Draft Solutions. Go ahead and go on to Rosie's Draft Solutions over on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, and you can find out more information there. Tonight, we're also sponsored by Brewbag. Brewbag for your beer pong cornhole. Go to brewbag.com. You can get them custom made for your business, your brewery. That's right. You are playing beer pong cornhole.
Yes.
Yeah. Right outside. It's getting to be, it is, by the way, Brewbag weather. I actually whipped it out the other day. Not Brewbag, I'm just saying my penis.
In the backyard?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
As long as the kids don't see.
Yeah, no. They've seen it already, so it's all right. So go to brewbag.com or go to the bio in our Instagram, and you'll find a direct link to our Brewbag page where you get your discount today. Go to brewbag.com. Also sponsored by Beer Maker, BERMKR, for your all-grain countertop automated beer dispensing solution maker, brewer, whatever you want to call it. Go to BERMKR for your Beer Maker units and beer packs today. You can brew IPAs,
Mexican
lagers, all sorts of awesome all-grain brewing. Go to BERMKR.com or go to the bio on our Instagram and receive your direct link to a discounted page for the Wort. And we will also sponsored by Brewers Hardware. Brewers Hardware. For your large capacity or small batch needs, go to brewershardware.com and go ahead and tell Andrew we said thanks.
Yeah.
He's a great sponsor of the show, gives us stuff to give back to the brewers, to our guests that we have here in studio tonight. We have Two Havens. Two, not just one Haven.
Two the Havens.
There are two Havens in the Smithtowns. That's what I've heard. So we're going to get right into that right away. We have the boys here, and let me get into this really quick. Get some mics and some cameras going. There's some people. What's up, people?
Cameras.
All right, so we got Dave. We got Jim. We have
Jim on the casting couch.
Jim's you're gonna screw me up. Gary, and then we have Jeremy. He's on the line with us. There he is. Wait. He's shooting in live. Boom! There he is.
Throwing gang signs already. I love it.
What's up? What's going on, guys? I really appreciate you guys for making the trip in here. Go ahead and pour some beers there, sir. So let's get right into this because you guys kind of hit our radar a short time ago when we were kind of, scouring the old Instatubes for some new meat, some new people to talk to because there are hundreds, if not thousands, of stories out there, and we want to hear yours. So give us a little breakdown. I guess you can go round robin, introduce yourself. I'll try to follow as much with the cameras as possible. Tell us a little about how this all got started or where you guys all came from for the first part.
Go ahead, Dave.
All right, so we'll take it to the way back.
Yep.
Similar stories, other people.
Back.
But,
Yesterday.
Back anytime.
Yeah.
Way back
Yesterday,
last week.
when I was helping the carnies move into the parking lot. See what happened there.
It started off, so I myself wanted to homebrew. I was like, I'll go to Carps in East Northport, and I'll go get a kit.
Yep.
A little shout out to Carps.
Wow.
And this guy, Gary, we all lived in the same neighborhood, and he's like, yeah, let's do it. So I got the kit. He's like, I think he said, I brewed a beer in college. It was like a 10% like pale ale or something like that.
Good old Mr. Beer.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Beer.
Yeah.
So we upgraded from
How'd you
Mr.
get that
Beer.
up to 10%? You should double batch the
No
liquid.
idea what I did. But one point knocked me on my ass.
You put two of those little containers that you did pull
You had to
tops.
scrape all the malt.
I think it was too
out
much
of the
sugar
can.
in, yeah.
I like that. That's what I did, early on. And I did. I just was licking it, like licking the can, like a
delicious.
degenerate.
I had two Mr. Beers. I did double batches.
You did
I
double-
had two of those. Yeah, I
Wow,
did
he was double batching Mr. Beer cans. He's got two of those brown barrels.
And
sitting.
he's proud to say that.
It only gets worse from here, but that's just the build-up.
I think that's a badge on Untapped.
Yeah.
You give double barrel Mr. Beer
Mr. Beer
can.
kits.
That's fantastic.
So we were all set to go. So it started off with me and Gary, and then I brought everything to Gary's house, and then his basement flooded.
Oh,
So
God.
I spent, instead of the brew day, we spent the day getting shop vacs and clean up his basement. And then I
fun.
think from there we decided to move to my house because it hadn't flooded yet. And
Is this just a rainstorm? Was this a big storm?
I think it was what was
No,
it?
it's when you neglect maintenance on your downstairs bathroom.
Just,
And it just runs
It was
water.
it was a
no
double
pump.
flusher, the coat hanger.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So we moved operations to my house. We brewed. I think the first beer we did was a pale ale.
It was a pale ale.
We did pale ale, and Jimmy lived across the street from me. So just to give you context, so we were all in East Northport. That section there is the Havens. So myself, Jimmy, and the other Dave, who's not here, all lived on East Haven Lane, and then Gary and Jeremy lived across on the other side, the other road, Meadow Haven. So that's where the name Two Havens comes from.
All right. I like it.
So
I
we slowly
heard
were
about the Havens.
Yeah, we were slowly collecting guys. So it was me and Gary, and then
Slowly. You're getting a team together.
basically we needed extra hands. So then this guy,
It's the fucking Avengers of breweries.
yeah. So Jimmy on the couch comes by and he's like,
Jimmy on the
Yeah,
couch.
Jimmy on the couch. Wait, I got him here. There they go. There he is.
Jimmy on the
we
couch.
brewed the first beer, and then he's like, "What are you guys doing?" We're like, "Oh, we're brewing." He's like, "Oh, you need help cleaning?" We're like, "Yes, we do."
Oh,
So
It's an integral part.
and so many
all
people
right,
do not volunteer to do the cleaning part.
Which one of the group was the guy that came out and said, "Oh yeah, I'll be the beer taster"? Because there's always one that says, "I will do taste testing."
We never had that. We only had the guy. I guess I'll clean.
yeah,
Nice.
That's the only job that he
That's
volunteered for.
nice.
Yeah. So he was
Yeah,
on
we lucked
cleaning
out.
duty for a good amount of time. Then
I wouldn't promote that too much. You're gonna have
No,
some
no,
people
you
give
missed
you
the
a
whole
call.
brewing process. You're just inside cleaning.
That's it.
that and wing duty because he was
Oh,
he was like deep
all right.
frying wings across the street.
All right, you
So
need one of those in the.
we had him,
for
and
sure.
then from there, I don't know how Dave got into the mix. Probably just because he was literally like walking distance.
He was just across the
He
street.
was
He
across
was
the
there.
street.
Yeah.
And then Jeremy around the corner, we didn't even really know Jeremy that well.
No,
and then
not
I
when
think
we
I met
started.
him when my kids started playing t-ball together, and then we were talking about brewing beer, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I used to do it all the time." He's from the Midwest, so he acted like he knew everything. And then he's like, "Oh, that's good." He's like, "Oh, where are you guys brewing?" We're like, "Oh, we're in the house, like stovetop style." And he's like, "Oh, that's cute. We brew outside."
Oh,
We're like,
that's
"Oh."
cute.
I'm like, "Fuck you."
Did he start it off with real men brew outside?
Yeah, so then he's like, "You guys got to go all green." We're like, "Okay." So we built the the Home Depot cooler rig.
Yeah.
There you
And
go.
he's like, "I got all this stuff in my garage." We're like, "All right, you can brew with us. Cool. We got free gear." And then Jeremy? Like 2 weeks later, we surpassed your knowledge, I guess.
Well, yeah, because I was so I was like David said, I was from the Midwest. I had moved to Long Island probably
From
10
where?
years. I grew up in Minneapolis,
Okay.
and I lived in St. Louis, Missouri for 13
Oh,
years.
wow.
Oh, Missouri.
So so I was I started brewing with my wife's cousin.
As Midwesterners do.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we do.
Just brewing,
Literally,
right?
we're like 3 miles from like the Budweiser, world headquarters brewery. So
Yeah.
we knew what it was supposed to smell like when we were doing it.
Because that's all anything smells around there.
That's right.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, we were doing that. Man, we probably did every kit beer you could possibly do. We tried every variant, tried to doctor them up, extra hop them up, throw some fruit in there, throw some wood chips in there. So we did really well. And we did about 2 all grains, and much like Mike was my mentor back in St. Louis, we did about 2 all grains. I retained no knowledge of all grain. When I moved to New York, I met Dave, who's really kind of the guy who has spearheaded a lot of the changes in our home rig system. He was like, yeah, we did a couple of kit brews. The guys were like, there's a funk about every one of them, and I was like, yeah, that's the kit. And Dave's like, well, since you've done it before, we should all go all grain. And I was like, yeah, I was in the room when we did it before, but I know. So Dave really like bolstered the group by really putting together the all grain rig and taking us to the next level.
Cool.
Now, did you guys have a plan in mind getting together and doing this? You guys just start chatting about it? Because obviously this went beyond your coalition or your Avengers group of brewers to make that next step. So what were the conversations like throughout that time between the 5 of you, hanging out? Did the one guy go, your son's leaving the curveballs up a little bit? And then,
I don't think there was really any talk about going pro, so to speak, because there were so many screw-ups along the way initially. Broken hydrometers, burnt hoses. What else went wrong? Well, Mr. Midwest over there decided, hey, we should do liquid yeast as opposed to the dry yeast, which we've been using the whole time. We're like, oh, that sounds great.
I didn't do a primer.
It was so easy.
Yeah.
You just pour it right in.
Yeah, you just pour it right in.
just show it in there.
So we didn't let it get ready. So that one was that got poured down the sink.
Oh, you didn't have like the reverse osmosis machine to...
No, there wasn't anything that high tech. And I mean, we'll get into it further, but there's all kinds of like blunders along the way, and like that's kind of built upon our brand, I guess you could say.
Okay.
And how many?
Build a starter? Yeah, that was it on that one. We didn't build a starter.
How many years you guys been from when you just got together? How many years?
2017, I'd say like what,
End
fall?
of 2017.
Yeah, end of
Okay.
2017
All right.
now.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it really
a little
started
bit.
as an excuse to get together and drink
the hell out of the
and
house.
eat and
And
not be around our wives.
Yeah, like we had,
So I'm hoping they're not
our
listening
brewer's
right
log
now.
listed out like, things to fix, and then it would say like, make sure you pre-order wings, like just shit like that. And then we started sourcing like pizzas and things like through Gold Belly, like to get pizza from the Midwest, or I'd be like, oh, what are we brewing? Like, oh, I think we're just brewing an IPA, but like we're getting this Detroit style pizza coming.
All right.
That's gonna be great.
There you go.
But,
Pilsners are the next one on the brew deck, ready to
I
go.
mean, we're starting to experiment a little more. Like Gary and I had the bright idea of doing a blackberry pale ale. Like this would be cool. It was another kit beer in the beginning, and then it was like we were looking up how to do fruit additives, and it was like a small amount. And we're like, nah, let's just put 2 pounds in and just let it fly.
Wow.
Did it explode?
It didn't explode, but it was like blackberry syrup as far as a beer, but. I had it at a Halloween party and people railed on it and were like, "This is great."
They were playing beer pong with it. I don't know
Yeah,
how they did.
you got
it.
jungle,
Yeah.
blackberry jungle juice.
Basically, yeah.
It's like bathtub, like
But we
bathtub
started-
liquor.
Yeah, we started picking up some steam and like we started working out some of the kinks over the years, and I think like we started finally building our own recipes as opposed to just like the kit or the clone recipes.
Now, did you upgrade the equipment? Outside of the igloo cooler in the back. It's
A
hard to
little
say.
bit, but minimally. We didn't really get too much further upgraded, and then
We upgraded the burner.
There you go.
We did upgrade the burner, yeah. 'cause-
Well, this
partly
way,
because
it could get done quicker.
well, the last burner had like a crushed can that we had to hold in place to keep it going, otherwise it would go out.
yeah.
It was duct taped on there, so we upgraded to that. And then I'm trying to think.
And then
what-
we let the hose lean against it while it was on, so it burnt through it.
Yeah.
oh
Melted
yeah,
itself.
yeah, that
So
was good.
That's fine.
That was time to upgrade.
Oh boy.
But
And it was propane for the most part, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were outside,
I mean, we
so
did
at
like
least
some
it was-
good wins along the way. Like some of those IPAs were pretty solid. We did some pails.
we had a
Pilsner.
hopped summer ale that was really good. That
Yeah, we did
people
that. We had a
crushed.
pilsner. We had what was wicked great outside. So I got a small barrel, like a 5-gallon barrel from someone. I didn't know what was in it, and we're like, oh, I'll put a stout in it. And they're like, yeah, that's great, let's do it. So we had like a recipe. We put the stout in there when we were letting it barrel age, and then we tried the stout outside the barrel, and I think it was just like maybe like the 3 of us or 4 of us.
I was there. I remember. Yeah,
it was so good. It was like we hit all the marks. Everything was perfect. And then we're like, oh, the barrel's gonna be great. And the barrel's in my basement, just hanging out for I don't know 2-3 months. And I bring Jeremy over, and I'm like, I got a cold. I had the Vinny nail, spraying it, like make sure everything's good. I'm taking a sample. I'm like, I don't know, it just tastes kind of weird to me, but I have a cold, so why don't you try it for me? He's like, no, I see what you're tasting. It's totally gonna mellow out. It's totally gonna mellow out.
2 weeks, guys. It'll mellow out.
It's always going to mellow out.
Yeah, it didn't mellow out at all. It was, we call it the Tussin beer. And the best part about it was we bottled
The
it.
Tussin beer.
We bottled it and we wax dipped it. It was this nice label and everything. It was homebrewing still, but we were like, let's just make it nice. And then we're like, Gary and I are like, all right, it tastes horrible. It tastes like Tussin. Because we found out later it was a digestif liqueur barrel. So it had this weird cherry funk on it, on an imperial stout. So it was more... great match. We're like, maybe we'll put it on ice cream or something, like seeing like, or let's put it in coffee.
You notice how it always goes towards food?
Yeah. It's
We
like,
put
you
it
know
in
what?
coffee. What else?
Coffee, ice
I
cream.
tried to make ribs.
Oh yeah, we tried to make ribs.
ribs.
Yeah,
Chili.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
we used it for
No,
everything.
it's not a bad idea, but it didn't work because this beer was so fucking bad.
Well, I guess if you
Well,
burn it off in a
at least
smoker.
you can admit to it. I've had guys, oh no, you got to try this, and you're like, oh, what do you get? And they're like, oh yeah, it's delicious and all that. I'm like, you sure about that? You sure it's delicious?
You want to go with that one?
Are you sure? I mean, are you sure about that?
I mean, it was the type of beer that I wouldn't even justify by pouring it down the sink. It went straight in the toilet.
Well, I poured it down my slop sink and I still smelled it for a few weeks after.
Try not.
Needless to say, you do not have that barrel anymore, right?
I have it in the barrel in the basement. I always remember.
I wanted to smash it for 3 years.
We were thinking of burning it, but we haven't got there yet.
Well, make a nice little tabletop somewhere.
Yeah.
And you can always remember, like that's the
I don't
barrel.
think anyone has any bottles of it left, right?
Jeremy does.
Does Jeremy still have one? Jeremy, do you still have one for like an anniversary?
No, I just threw them out.
Right in the recycling bin.
Which I'm really sad about because I was gonna get one to the show and see if you guys could have these guys try it and see if they could drink it with a straight face.
Wow, that would have been.
I don't mind.
That
I
would have
mean,
been wrong.
Hey, can you
Would've
guys
been so
taste the
wrong.
awfulness in this beer? Yeah, I mean it's not great. Well, at least you prefaced it by saying it's horrible.
Yeah.
And then listen, we all have our mistakes, and that's how we learn and grow and get better, right? So you guys went from what you were working on. What are you working on now? Like, what's the system looking like right now?
Well, we stopped home brewing at this point because we
Yeah.
don't have time because we're out here trying
You
to...
guys are over at Ubergeek, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like that last system, was it the same thing that you?
Same system.
Okay,
Like the,
all right.
the gravity.
We made quite a few upgrades, but
Yeah.
there was definitely a chasm.
What,
and
like
it was,
the nail I put in there to hang up the mash spoon, or like, it's high tech.
I mean, we caulked some of the holes that had
Yeah.
water leaking out.
Yeah.
Get some
there
of that
was
flex
only one
tape.
logical next step.
Flex seal.
Flex seal.
Boom, right on the side. Doesn't go anywhere. You guys, you made this contact with Rob at Ubergeek.
Yeah.
How did that come about? Did you guys shop around a little bit, see who had like the best kind of setup and schedule and stuff like that for you?
It actually came organic. Like Rob kind of like approached me. So Rob's a client of mine for my day job and also friends. So during the pandemic, he was doing home deliveries.
Yeah.
Yep.
Before he even opened up at at his place now, and he was like tasting my home beer and giving me tips and stuff. No, I didn't give him the Tussin. I was nice. But then he was
You
like,
wanted to keep him as a friend.
yeah, I wanted to keep him as a friend.
You could have told him, listen, this will cure COVID. I mean, you'd be selling them.
That's some of the
I was
Tussin.
convinced that like the
might.
last bottle Pfizer took. And,
Yeah.
like, that's how they formulated it,
They stole it, took
Yeah,
samples.
exactly. But no, he was in my front yard and he was like, "Hey, when are you going to start doing this for real?" And I was like, "Haha," and I'm like, I don't have the time or the money or anything like that to go build out a brew house. He's like, and then he started telling me, he's like, you could do all prop, you could do contract brewing,
Yeah.
and I was like, so he kind of put the bug on my ear, and that was probably like 20 or 21, maybe, I think, maybe 20, maybe like towards like the beginning of 21, and then like towards the tail end of that, then we just started talking about it, and we were like going back and forth as we were like eating pizza and fucking
And
shit
wings
up.
and
Yeah, and just being like, do we want to do this? What
Jim
do
on the couch is just sitting there like an Italian grandmother handing lasagna out the basement door. Just, in the backyard, you guys brewing.
he was
Another
trimming-
tray of wing,
trimming
boys.
wing tips, yeah.
Yes.
So then we were just like, you know what? I think we could do this. We started like instead of just every week or every like month brewing something different, so
Yeah.
we were getting no traction as to like ability wise. We were like, we want to do something different each time. And we're like, let's just focus on one or two beers
Yeah, and then
get
dial it in.
Yeah. So we worked on the IPA and we worked on a pale ale, and we just started fixing that. And Rob was generous enough to give us like copious notes, including some of which. So, like I said, our backstory brings us back to East Northport. And if anyone's familiar with East Northport, the Green Lawn water there is amazing. It's won like
Outstanding.
awards for like best tasting water,
Like
and
the
it's cheap.
It's also cheap as shit.
It's cheap as hell.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Is it an aquifer or is it like piped in? I don't know.
I don't know.
What did you guys get water readings from that? Are you giving it to Rob to brew? Coming out with
Coming with
tankers?
5-gallon like.
The reason why we realized how good it was, besides like the awards and stuff that we saw posted, was that we moved. Much was moved to the Smithtown area, and then from there we started brewing there. We never treated the water.
Yeah.
And
So
then,
definitely different.
everything tasted kind of bitter, and we're like, oh, you know what? We probably should dial back the hops. We do this, and Rob's like, I can't figure it out. He's like, how do you treat the water? And Jeremy's at the tasting room, and Jeremy's just like,
What?
well, we put it in, you know, like, we boil it.
I
We
treat
boil
it
it
nice.
up.
I
He's like,
treat
boil
nice.
it. And
I'm
he's like-
gentle.
He's like, you're using like Camden tablets, or are you like, you know, putting it, you know, what is your, what's your water report look like? We're like, I don't know. And he's just, Jeremy, you could tell you were there. Would his eyes roll like
Well,
burned
yeah,
back?
I mean, when he had tried that, it was kind of one of those things where it was like we weren't piecing it together because the beers were actually really good in East Northport. Like all the Real Havens beers were really good, and it was like we started having small problems in Smithtown. And when I brought him that sample, he's like asking me all kinds of questions about what happened during the brew, and I was like, no, that was solid. And I said, honestly, we had no mishaps. Like by the time we were pitching yeast, I was like, this is it. This is going to be the one that's locked in. And he's like, I feel like, what do you do about water? And I was like, what do you mean about it?
Something about Willis.
Yeah. And he's like, have you been treating the water? And I was like, in the Smithtown water? I mean, isn't it the same thing? He's like, no. And he hands me a book. It's like this thick.
Yeah.
He's like, take this back to Dave. And I was like, we're going to read this book? Like, there's like equations and shit in it. Like,
Math makes my head hurt.
But he got us thinking about water, and that brought us to the last two like final candidates before we ended up with this guy.
Now, does the water profile match relatively closely? Is that why it was kind of like that seek and destroy kind of mentality?
Well, the water in Smithtown is way different than Green Lawn.
It's like
So we
pool
had to
water,
treat.
basically.
So the next two
Really?
It's
batches,
super chlorinated.
Yeah. So the next two batches we did some sampling, testing, and treatment on, and then now we were finally dialing into something that was drinkable, and it was that last step to like, no, this is a good recipe, because that was the thing. Rob couldn't put his finger on it at first. He's like, I don't get it, because he had looked at everything we were doing in the recipe, and it just like wasn't computing. And it was the last thing where he's like, the only thing I can think of is water. What are you doing? And I was like,
Putting it
I
in
was
the kettle.
room. I was like,
So when Rob kind of enlightened you on this, was it let's go back to the original recipe at that point? Was it let's stay with the changes that we had made, trying to offset the water issue?
No, he said, don't change anything. Just go change the water
Okay.
and see what happens. Because he firmly believed in the recipe.
Yeah. Now, and no changes were made during the contract brew from where you guys homebrewed. You just kind of upped the scale.
We scaled up
Yeah.
and we changed some things, but not for the most part.
Was it about like ingredient availability or?
Some of it was that, and it was cost. Because
No,
some of the
yeah.
some of the hops we
Yep.
were using were like, Nelson, I love that, but how about a Zaka? Rob's like, I got some old comment in the back we can use.
Everything's different when you're brewing 5 gallons as opposed to
Yeah. We're like, we have to make money on this somehow. We're like, all right, maybe we won't use this much Citra.
And without getting into numbers, I mean, scalability, what you guys were doing, and the cost, there is room for profit between what you guys are buying, what you guys are paying Rob for the time and the space and the effort, and then what you're selling as. You're seeing profit in this last release, right?
there's been profits. It's small, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're
I mean,
there.
It's early, so we're still, we're covering
Right.
startup
No, I'm
costs,
saying, but you're
yeah,
seeing
there's
some
margin
return
there,
on
which
it.
is
Yeah,
nice.
no, definitely.
Okay,
There's
yeah,
definitely a return on
Yeah,
the
all right.
beer.
So then it's definitely a drinkable beer, obviously, and we've had some already. But the response from what we've seen out there was good. People are posting.
It's all
people
been
are
great, yeah.
It's all the marketing. Who's really in charge of the marketing? Who mans the Instagram and?
Well, that'd be our Jeremy, our chief marketing officer.
There he is.
Yeah.
So how's it going out there on the inner tubes? Any good, bad, or indifferent stuff happening?
Well, nobody's thrown any stones at us yet. I mean, yeah, it's
Give it due
It's a little
time.
bit
When
different.
more people have it, more people are liable to do something. But
yeah. I mean, there's been a tremendous amount of support and feedback. I mean, being a middle-aged, in the middle of a midlife crisis, one of these being the midlife crisis, right? Like,
it's either a Corvette or it's
Or a brewery.
Or a brewery.
or start a brewery. Yeah, exactly. So I think it's really been like just like getting to know the cadence of posting, the type of content. Obviously, we have a certain vibe about us. We're not trying to be all that serious about it, but at the same time, we really do want good beer. There was a couple of things, right? We want a very clean, very marketable logo. So people didn't have to hunt around all kinds of art projects on the cans to look for what the style of the beer is, right?
So in your
wanted
face.
So we wanted really clean, and we also wanted a lightheartedness about the vibe. So trying to take that into social media, it's just a matter of like trying to be creative, trying to come up with funny things to post and keep people informed. So we've gotten a lot of positive feedback, and it's been great. And
You guys have the right guy to be working with, because Rob's most recent videos that he's been posting over the last few months have been hysterical.
Yeah.
Hysterical, especially if you know Rob. You just see a little further into it. But even the casual observer would sit there and go, "Oh, that's pretty funny." And it's a marketable concept. What you're doing is trying to get not just the beer, because I mean, very little beer. It's just in the brewery, shot in the brewery. Very little beer is involved with some of those videos. It's more of just trying to get your personality there, because people drink beyond just the beer. They drink the artwork, the vibe of the brewery, the personalities, everything goes into it.
Exactly, and that's it. Going back to when we first started talking to Rob, when I first met Rob, I sat in the brewery for 4 hours with him, just chit-chatting about everything, his background, his college life, all of that, and then just fun stuff that we were all into. And it was one of those things where I was like, oh, we can partner with Rob because he's just like one of us, a smarter one of us. And then like it was, I knew that it was going to be one of these things where we could work with him on all levels, not just about scaling this beer up, scaling these recipes up, and all of that. It was like just chatting with him about what works and what doesn't, bringing this stuff to market. Like, he's been invaluable in coaching with us.
We have a bunch of people checking in on Instagram really quick. Robbie from West Babylon Superstar. So what's up?
What's up?
Joey Heatmeister Brews is on fire. He's saying what's up. Kimmy G's checking in. There's a bunch back here I got to go back to. Jay Clancy's checking in, one of our longtime watchers on Instagram. I don't want to move the camera all that much, but thanks a lot for checking us out. We're here with Two Havens. I got Jim, Gary, Jeremy, Bill, Dave, Hank,
Slippy.
Sneezy Bashful, Sleepy, Happy, Dopey, Grumpy, Sneezy Bashful Doc. That's
Right,
what it is.
and the whole Carney group that's still coming.
And Billy Bob from Kansas is here. You might know him, Jeremy. You might have ran into him.
That was my cousin.
There you go.
I figured as much. All right, so you guys, obviously you got this rolling out here. You guys have, I'm working with Rob over at Ubergeek. Tell us a little bit about that first experience, that first brew day.
I mean, the first brew day was, I guess, the stout, right?
Yeah. Well, we kind of left that one out.
Yeah, so
we have another stout that actually worked.
Yeah, no, we had a great stout that
Not
worked.
the one in the Tussin barrel.
Not the Tussin, yeah.
So we'll bring it back. So the barrel story, like the good barrel story, is that I've been talking to the Better Man Distilling Company, Patchogue, for years, just trying to get my hands on a barrel for home brewing purposes. So they were like, talk to us in like 3 years. So I put a reminder for like 3 years, and I'm like, hey, what's up? And they're like, oh yeah, we
you.
Yeah, basically they're like, you're back. I'm like, yeah,
yeah.
And
You got
they're
wings
like,
for me or what?
basically, I was like, do you have a barrel? They're like, yeah. We set it up, and I think it was supposed to be like a 15-gallon barrel or something like that. And Jeremy and I show up, and we're having a drink at the bar, and they're like, listen, it was a mistake. We only have the 30-gallon one. And I was like, so I called, and we hadn't decided to do this venture or anything. We were just going to use it for home brewing purposes. And I was like,
that's a lot.
I was like, Rob, I don't want to do a 6-barrel, a 6-batch, on my coolers. And he's like, maybe we could do something here, for fun. Like, I was like, all right, cool.
Especially coming off the Tussin experience.
Yeah, we're a little gun shy.
I wasn't a fan of barrels at that point.
But this was a rye whiskey barrel. We knew what it was. We smelled it, and then we
hissing at it like a goose.
Yeah. So then we flash forward. We decided to do this for real. So this thing's been sitting in my basement. Rob's like, bring it here to me, so I know, we'll to kind of just spitball ideas. And like to Jeremy's point, like Rob's just been key and giving us so much advice on everything from brewing to the business to Rob kneels down with the bung out of it and jams his whole nose in it, and he's like, "No, there's some good stuff here. Like we can definitely work with this." So we built the recipe for this stout. That was the first beer we brewed, super small batch, in that barrel, a little bit outside of the barrel too to dilute it down, and then from there, the cool part was we partnered. So as we were like kind of working this together, we reached out to the Better Man and we were like, "Hey, listen, I know we were like backyard brewing this, but we're gonna do this for real. We'd like to partner with you and do some kind of event, bring some people there." And they're like, cool. So we did like the history of like the story of the barrel, where it was the life of it. So it started with the whiskey in there. So they had the rye whiskey at our event. Then they had our beer, and then once we took the beer out, we gave it back to them, and they aged a cocktail in there. So it was three different.
That's pretty cool.
Three different things there, and
I like those concepts.
Yeah, it was something fun, because if you're not a beer drinker, they're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But most people will drink like a little flight's worth, and then from there they'll be like, all right, I'm going to try the whiskey, or I'm going to try the cocktail.
You can kind of see the evolution of the liquid. It's about the barrel. It's not so much about the liquids much anymore, and the effect they had them.
At the event, they did flights.
Of the three?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So that went off really well, and like that was like our first brewing experience in commercial success, because I mean,
And you said they had a live event at that point.
We had a full event there. We probably had, I'd say, anywhere from like 80 to 100 people
That's good.
go through there in the course of the night
on a Thursday night, which was
Thursday night,
awesome.
and it started raining, and they usually close up at like 10, but they kept like, so actually, Jeremy,
everyone's drinking rye whiskey, so
yeah. Well, the best part is like, so it's a 9.6% imperial stout.
Oh Christ!
But they're pouring pints
of
it, because they're like, we'll take a keg of that for the event, we'll take a keg of your IPA, and we'll take another keg for the IPA for after the event, so we'll have on tap. And we're like, okay. And they're like, you know what? Don't bring the other keg of the IPA. We don't have room for it. We'll take it later. It's like, okay. So I met these guys because I had to come from work. And then, like, maybe an hour and a half in, I see Jeremy, who like, just, you can't see it on the Zoom, but the guy's, Jeremy, what are you, 6'7"?
Yeah, 6'7".
So 6'7". So this guy's hunched.
I'm 6'2". That's
hunched over, bringing in this keg, and I'm like, I thought you didn't bring the other keg. He's like, no, we brought it. Because like they tapped someone on the shoulder, and they're like, yeah, we kicked the keg in like an hour.
Wow.
So we kicked 3 kegs. The stout kicked, 2 hazies kicked, and then they ran, because we didn't bring any more than 2 kegs of hazy. Like, we don't have more beer, so then we just started selling them cases of cans to go through. We went through what?
Six cases?
6 cases of cans.
Wow.
Like that.
I knew it. Here's the thing: we're bringing all our heathens from East Northport.
Yeah. I had people like, this is a great excuse. I got my mom watching the kids. I can out of the house.
Yeah.
This is amazing. When are you doing the next one?
I can't wait. Give me another excuse.
Yeah,
please.
basically.
You guys, obviously that process through that. Were you there for some of the transfer back into the cocktail? Like, what part of that
we were
whole
there
process?
for like the initial brew day of the stout, and then I think like
we handed off the barrel because it had to age, and
the
cocktail was in the barrel for
you
like
brewed at Ubergeek.
We brewed at Ubergeek,
and then transferred it. Brought the barrel out there to transfer.
After we packaged the stout, then from there, then we brought the barrel back to them.
Okay. And so then you package that. Okay, all right. So So is that barrel still around? You don't want to smash that one.
That one's still around. That
Okay.
one's at the other Dave's house right now.
Okay.
So
He's probably hunched over right now, just vomiting into it.
Oh man.
The whiskey will burn it right off.
Oh, yeah.
Just throw some angel eyes in there and you'll be good
Whiskey
to go.
makes everything better.
It sure
Just
does.
needs one shot of Tussin and he'd be
Oh, the Tussin.
Right as rain.
Tussin beer.
Tussin cures all the ills.
So after that stout kind of evolution, was the first one then the pale? That
The
you
first
came-
one was the hazy. Then
The
after
hazy,
that,
okay,
yeah.
all
So
right.
that was a full commercial batch brew, and
How much did you produce?
it was 8 barrels.
Okay.
All right.
So
You get around
We got around-
50 cases.
I was going to say 40, but yeah.
We got like
with some dead-
44 and change, and then we did.
You got the
15
dead
kegs.
loss, you got
we had a
something
lot
like
of loss on that one, so we went up switch. So the second batch of hazy, that Rob was like, "You got to do lupulin powder because you're losing way too much on that." So we're like, "All right," because I'm like, "Wait, what's going on here?" I'm like, "Where's?" Because he packaged it up, and I'm like, "That's it?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like,
Yeah.
we're gonna switch that up.
all those hops in
Yeah.
there took up all
Well, the
that.
other thing too is he got Rob gives
I
pointers
think
and
I'm
like
liking American pale ales a lot more now lately. Something about Dogfish just gets me, but that's nice and sweet. Sorry, we'll get back.
no worries.
You can compliment the barrel.
Yeah.
You want.
I like that.
But he gave us pointers on like what worked for his system too. Like he was
Yeah.
like, use oat malt, don't use flaked oats as
Yep.
much because it'll jam up my system. I was like, okay.
Yep.
And so we did all that, and then he's like, yeah, so you almost clogged up my heat exchanger, and I'm like, I did, and he's like, all that hop matter because there's so much in there. He's like, it almost jammed it up, and I was like, oh, but I got the oat malt, and he's like, yeah, thanks for that.
I appreciate that,
You gotta
but
double up on that. He has an amazing system. We were there for his first brew day, right?
yeah.
It was us with Pete and Rob from West Babylon and Rob, and we were hanging out, and it was the first time he was brewing back on that system since the mustache days.
Yes.
And I could
He-
see him.
he had
you could
just
see his
taken over.
brain moving. He's like, all right, this goes here, this goes here. All right, I got this.
Well, the thing was, he actually worked for
mustache.
Mustache.
Yeah, no, he brewed on that system.
so he
That's
knew
what
it
I'm
in and
saying.
out. Yeah.
So it was like coming back to him. We watched that beautiful mind kind of moments where he was like, yes, I remember how to do all of this. Goodwill Hunting, even.
There's a lot of quirks to that system. I mean, it's that and the
valves among valves among valves
it's a lot of tri-clamps for
and
days.
hoses.
It was like, I think my job, he's like, all right, when I say go, flip the switch and then do it and then undo it quick. I'm like, all right. And I'm like, I did it. And he's like, you brewed a beer. I'm like, yeah.
I just stood there with the GoPro and watched.
There you go. Somebody had to.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't Jim on the couch.
No.
No. Now he was thinking
He had a
about
pizza oven in
I'm
the- in
just
the
gonna say,
parking
he's
lot.
like, how many wings do I need to bring in for this?
By the way, I didn't know they even made this. Call me stupid or naive about what's going on.
Stupid.
But there is at Lidl, there was a pizza oven that goes on top of your grill. So any
Oh, yeah.
charcoal or
Yeah.
gas grill, you can buy one of those just metal oven things
Yep.
and put it right on there. And we have a phone call coming in. This is the Wort, Mike Pete and Steve GovsRadio.com. Who do we got on the phone?
I'm Marty Oxenhorn. I'm listening to your show, The Wort Show,
Yes. Where are you calling from, Marty?
Palm Coast, Florida.
Florida. Is this Dave? Are you
Yeah.
on the toilet right now, Dave?
That's my dad, actually.
Is it? Sorry, Dave.
I'd like to know why you guys aren't down in Florida with the beer.
Are you really down in Florida tonight?
He lives down there. Yeah, they
I
live
live
down there.
here. We live here.
That's
So-
fantastic.
So your son is not getting you any beer.
Yeah.
Some beer made
right
it down
here,
there.
I have 2 more cans left of the beer, the hazy pale ale, and I can't get any more. You guys got to come down to Florida, okay?
Well, you're saying something about they'll ship it down, but you're paying for it.
Okay.
I got this cool
you guys
thing.
Are doing, all you guys are doing great, you know?
Oh, listen, your son and his friends are all doing a wonderful job. Where do you live in Florida, sir?
Palm Coast, Florida.
Palm
It's
Coast.
between Daytona
Okay.
and St. Augustine.
So on the west, on the east side.
East side.
East side. Okay. Now, how's the weather today? I mean, it was nice. It was like 74 degrees.
Rain. A whole
Rain.
day. Rain a whole day. I couldn't bike ride.
Oh, you're a biker?
Yeah, the thing is, I saved David's beer. He gave me a 4-pack. I saved the beer, after a long bike ride.
There you go.
And I was going to drink the beer today,
Reward
but I
yourself.
couldn't go for my long bike ride.
Ah,
So you know what? You just have to drink the beer then.
yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. Yeah, you got to buckle down. You can't bike ride, so you got to drink it, no matter what.
That's right.
Let me ask you a question. So before you were drinking this beer, what kind of beer did you enjoy in your heyday?
Well, my wife and I are from Brooklyn, okay? Have a Schaefer and Rangolds.
There you
There
go.
we go.
Two of the
Okay.
the top. What made you? Are you retired? That's why you guys
Yes.
moved down. Okay, all right. So there you go.
We're retired. Yep. I worked for Eastman Kodak Company. I worked for Xerox.
Oh, wow.
Really
Yep. I
excellent.
was an engineer there.
Now let me ask you: any good breweries around by where you live?
There are some breweries. Matter of fact, there's some distilleries also. We visited a couple of distilleries.
See, now that's where I would be riding the bike to. I'd be
you wouldn't be
taking that
riding
bike
home
right
from it.
there, and fill up my water bottle. Let's go.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, if I went there, I wouldn't be able to ride home.
See, that's what I'm saying. There's no way. The
Anyway.
the Florida weather, the good beer that you guys you're enjoying. You and your wife, I assume.
Yep.
Yep.
Yes.
So, what is the downside of Florida and the weather and the alcohol?
I don't see the downside. I don't see any really downside. The weather is nice most of the time. I can ride if I want. I can bike 12 months out of the year. I can run 12 months out of the year.
And you could
I
drink
don't see any
12 months out of the year.
You know.
That's the key.
Pre-game or post-game, either way, doesn't make a difference.
You know what though? He's got the right.
Mentality.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you work out, you run, you bike,
Reward yourself.
and
That's it.
you come home and you get slockered.
Yeah.
It's good.
Well, I drink my beer. I don't get slockered. I drink my beer.
Oh, come on,
He's a
every
gentleman.
so often
He's
you
a
do.
gentleman.
No.
If you get a
you
Canadian
guys-
club in front of him, then it's a different
Oh,
I
there it
like
is.
Canadian
I do like my Canadian.
That's your
clubs, too.
kryptonite, isn't it?
Kryptonite.
Well, look, you guys have a great time. You guys are doing fantastic.
Well, thanks a lot for calling in. Really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Live from Florida.
Yep.
All right, have a good one.
Bye.
Oh, very cool.
We were like, who is this?
Dave,
Yeah,
you
that's-
just gave him
that's
a
my
4
dad.
Well, we do get a lot of like not prank phone calls, but people that do not call with the best intentions.
Yeah.
We have a regular caller, DJ D Love, and then we have a prank caller, a regular caller, in Anthony Graziaday, who used to be on the station and supports the show tremendously. But
Then we usually just hang up.
and
on
we
him.
usually just hang up on it. That's the bit right now. The bit is you're out. Goodbye.
Yeah.
So let's get back to what we were talking about. How did he get involved? Was he up here when you guys started, or did he just move down there recently?
Who's that, Jeremy?
Yeah. No.
Your
Father.
dad.
My dad?
Yeah.
Oh, my dad, he was up in Rochester.
Right.
And then...
What?
and- yeah.
Brooklyn to Rochester.
Brooklyn to Rochester, and then Rochester to Florida.
Wow. No wonder he moved to Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get the
He was
fuck out of
out of
Rochester.
Done, yeah.
Holy
I've been there. It
shit.
sucks.
Yeah, he was like, I'm done.
Yeah, that's it. That's pretty cool though. He worked for Kodak and Xerox.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah,
are
yeah.
two pretty big names in around the area. And there's a major plant up there too. There's the Xerox headquarters, isn't it? Like relatively
Yeah,
close. there?
yeah, in Webster, New York, which is
Yeah,
just outside
Webster.
Rochester,
Yes.
and then obviously Kodak, Eastman Kodak is right.
My buddy Mike, who does medical imaging equipment, works for Xerox. They have, believe it or not, like major, huge, like machines that image the body in certain ways. And he travels around the country. Prior to him getting sick, but he travels around the country and was able to go to breweries. He was our correspondent in the field for the first few years. He calls from different parts of the country at the brewery he was at.
That's cool.
Or at the restaurant he was at. I tell him we have a show coming up. He's like, all right, Monday night, I'll be in Missouri. I'll do it, whatever it is. I'm going to say hi to Jeremy, and then we'll get back to the show.
Missouri.
So let's get into a little bit of is it? No, it's not quite this.
Not
Steve's
yet.
time. Let's get into a little bit what we're trying to formulate here. So you guys have a few labels out there already. Do you have another one going into Ubergeek at this point?
Nothing right now.
Nothing on the schedule.
We're looking to sell as much of this as we can right
Yeah.
now. The Pale Ale and Hazy number 2 just got packaged, like 2.5 weeks ago?
Is this
Not
the
long
first
ago.
Hazy or is this number 2?
Yes.
Question.
Yes.
I think it's the first.
I think it's first. I think it's first one.
Yes,
yeah,
you're correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the anything changed from 1 to 2?
I
Or
mean,
it's
one
just
is lupulin powder, and then we lighten it up.
Okay, so yeah, it's
Lupulin
taking
powder,
the,
and then we change from we had like a mixture of like pale malt and Golden Promise, and then I think we just switched all to Golden Promise. It gives a little lighter color, but it tastes about the same. And then, I mean, on top of that too, like so the yeast we've been keeping the same. But then what was it? Rob said he ran out of yeast for his own. And he's like he had a brick of ours, and he's like, so I'll use yours.
Yeah.
And then from there he was able to turn it and propagate and just turn that over and use it again for us. So then it was like a unintentional collab. So
does he have like a lab in the walk-in of just all the yeast from each brewery that contracts with him?
He had
Like framed
he had yeast in there in a bottle that was.
Was that the time we looked at it? Yeah.
He was like, I'm going to do something with this.
You know what? I saw the same thing in Long Island. When we went to Long Island, Pete and I.
So many people.
And that huge walk-in. There was a bottle of yeast just sitting in the walk-in. And we're like, it just had the tinfoil over it. That's it. I'm like, what is that? He goes, just waiting for a rainy day for that one. I'm like, Greg, really? He goes, yeah. We'll eventually get to that. I don't think he got to it. I mean, it's still sitting there. I don't know what he's doing, but
There's so many breweries have that little yeast sitting off in the corner, just
special little friends.
Usually in a mason jar.
Yeah.
And just kind of sitting back there, minding its own business. There's probably only a few cells that are still living, but if you do the right thing,
of it, right.
You get them going again. Could be something special.
So what do you do? What do you do to get them going again?
Well, you talk to them nice, give them a couple glasses
Spin
of
'em
wine. Give them a couple glasses of wine. You go,
loosen them up a little
you
bit.
loosen them up. You say, hey, come on, let's get going.
Treat them like a drunk prom date.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Oh no, yeah, you have to. I mean, if you really have a good equipment, you can separate your live cells from your dead cells, and then you just go from there. Propagate it, give it a little,
just keep
give
going,
it a little something to eat.
Yeah,
sugar,
a little sugar.
Yeah,
I was gonna say just
little,
throw a spoonful of sugar in.
A little wort.
Oh, a little sweet
little wort.
All right. Well, you want me to do this for that? Okay, there you go. You made me do it. All right, so let's talk about a few things here. You guys obviously have working with Rob. What's the ultimate goal? Have you been looking for a space at this point? Are you looking to maybe get into your own equipment? Like what's
We'd like to have our own space, but I think
obviously it might be a little too early.
Yeah,
since
we're a little early
a few
for that,
labels
but
out
like,
there. But
my wife will pass by places, and like I live in Smithtown, close to Main Street, and she's like, "Oh, that one's closed. We should do that'd be great for a place. Like this would be great." I'm like, "Yeah, we need that pot of money and someone to be there when the GC's like, hey, the plumbing guy's here and the permits and everything." So I think we're a little far off, but I think long term having a tasting room is definitely something we'd like to do. And
is there any problems with the town of Smithtown trying to get places, getting things approved?
I mean, I think
Jamie tried.
Did he?
Jamie from
St. James.
From St. James.
Yeah.
I mean, he's down the road in St. James.
He got shot down often.
Was he trying? So I mean, I guess the only thing. I mean, so
was he trying to brew there?
Yeah,
is that what he's trying to do?
Yeah, he wanted to brew
So
there.
that's the only thing I think if we were to do a brewing facility, we might have an issue with. But if we kept the same
tasting room, brick and mortar,
like brick and mortar, and just had like taps and like to go and stuff like that, I think that would
follow
probably
that same
fly.
format.
I think a lot of it. I don't know 100% what his issues were, but I know like wastewater is a huge issue.
Yes.
In Smithtown, there's like new apartments going up, and they needed this crazy system to accommodate. So I think that's the issue.
It's probably like a purifier system,
well,
right?
What it is, it's.
Do they not have the infrastructure?
It's
I don't think the
particulate.
infrastructure is
right.
It's same thing. Like think about Sand City. Have you seen the tank in the back of Sand City South? They can only pour it down
so much
a day, and it's a someone from
even in Lindenhurst they have that.
Someone
or are you
from
talking about the
Seward. No.
In Lindenhurst.
From Lindenhurst.
Yeah.
Somebody from the sewer district comes. It's a locked box. They come, they unlock it.
Yeah.
And they turn the pump on for a half hour.
And that's it.
That's
all they get.
And then, whoop, they shut it
with
off.
the amount of volume they're doing.
Yep.
So the rest has to get shipped out.
Well, what they do is they'll take some of the.
They'll fill like caddies and throw them on the back of a truck.
Yep. And then they go off to.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They call it the cousin Eddie.
Yeah. Only
Shitter's full. They just twist it. Yeah.
Soon with the technology, it's gonna be a retinal scan and it's just a rectal scan, and that's it. You guys, obviously, when you're looking at stuff, are you looking to be right in downtown Smithtown? Or are you looking
like to be? I mean, because East Northport's where it all kind of began, and then it kind of shifted over to like Hauppauge, Smithtown, and that's where the bulk of us are now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we like the community, and that's kind of where we're based.
For those of you who are not tuning in that live on Long Island, that's sort of closer to the North Shore than the South Shore. I don't know. Are we Middle Island right now where we're broadcasting from? Are we consider Middle Island? Because
I think we're more
south,
west.
no,
West.
south.
Well,
and
we're
north.
south. We're
We're
definitely
south of
yeah.
LAE, obviously, but
Yeah.
I think it's what you consider Long Island and what you consider the city.
yeah. Anything.
Don't start that fight. Don't start that. We'll get people calling,
Listen, anything-
threatening us.
Phone calls.
Anything south of Madison Square Garden is South Manhattan.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Or Penn Station, we'll say. But that's our Long Islander views.
So who is coming up with the recipes?
Yeah.
That's Dave.
That's me.
All right.
Now, is this, again, we're drinking the American, and we're going to break it down in a little while, but are you bringing this over from the homebrew experiences?
Yeah, so I mean, we had brewed both of these multiple times, and we've been playing with it. And then from there, I worked with Rob to scale it up and tweak things a little bit. And then
What changes the most in scale-ups?
It was just like he kind of just had. I'm trying to think of like what the things he really had me kind of play with. It was just kind of changing some of the things they don't really think about to the degree that he is when it comes to like dry hopping and like you have too much.
Even with your bittering hops. If you try to scale it up just the way it is, you will have the most bitter beer that you'll ever have. And you'll just be wasting hops.
I don't want to cut you off, but I think everyone realized there's no Met or Yankee game on tonight. So all of a sudden, everyone tuned in. Really?
Well, no, it's the gang from Two Havens.
Yes, it's Alex Engel, Bar 43, Elliott Bay Brewing Company saying what's up. Helmholtz Brewing, Robert C's back in there. Harry by Javier, whatever. Javier, I guess.
Javier.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
D&D Beerman. Is that Dungeons and Dragons?
No, I think it's like BDSM.
Okay, yeah. Just Wort Theory. Bellingham. Oh, what's going on, brother? Brother Hogan. There's more.
Hogs.
Yeah, it's a bunch of people checking in and a bunch of people watching. So we're here with the gentleman from Two Havens. So what was your follow-up question? I'm sorry to interrupt you because all of a sudden I saw that thing blow up. You didn't have one. That's okay. All right, sorry.
You were just saying about the bitterness and things like
Well,
that.
yeah, scaling up is not what everybody
It's
thinks.
But that was my question.
It's
It's
not
like,
linear,
you know,
so-
it's like if you made soup and you're like, oh, this is a cup of this, cup of that. You
Yeah.
can't go from making, 5 gallons up to 8 barrels.
So you tell me if
and
I go
think
out-
it's going to be, seamless.
If I get a one of those condensed Campbell soup cans and it's 1-to-1, you tell me I can't go 2-to-2, 4-to-4, 8-to-8? No?
Not when you go that large.
You can if you're doing Mr. Beer.
And you double barrel it. When you double barrel the Mr. Beer,
Double barrel Mr. Beers is
it
still
works.
It's going to
It
sit with me.
works.
I'm going to find my Mr. Beer kit and Photoshop a second one on my thing and post that tomorrow.
Double barreling.
Where it all started for Jeremy. See, it can happen. I want to get into because we're getting close to your little segment, and I want to get into something, but I don't want it to take too long. So, for the most part, what the future brings is your next chance at brewing one of these again, or are you looking to do something completely new? Because I know you were talking about before, you guys have, like, when you were homebrewing, you were just trying new labels. Are we going to try to go backwards again and maybe do the stout again and maybe do the...
I think we'll probably do the stout like later fall, winter. We still
Good
have
idea.
like, if anyone who's listening who has like a restaurant bar, we have a super limited batch left of Slims.
Yeah.
And all the bottles of the stout sold immediately at the event.
In like
I think
20 minutes.
Yeah, so those are all
No,
gone.
cool.
That's accounted for now next time you do
Yeah,
that one
but
out.
we still have some Slims of that, so we would like to do maybe like a non-barrel aged stout. We'll probably repeat either the hazy or the pale again, and
Yeah.
then maybe do. We're I don't know. I mean, this is where like the audience is always good to like chime in. It's like we're toying with like what kind of style to do next. We're approaching summer, so we're thinking maybe like a pilsner, but then people were like,
You were saying earlier you had a summer, a hoppy summer.
We did, but
Oh,
I
we
don't
did. We did do a hoppy summer in the homebrew kit,
Yeah.
and it got really good.
It was
response.
really hoppy. I mean, we in a 5-gallon batch, I think we used 16 ounces of hops.
no, it was more than that. It was. I think it was
16
pounds.
added? I don't
it
know.
was ridiculous because it was trying to mask like
Half the price of that beer was hops.
Yeah, it was just hops.
But it got a great response.
It did. It was.
hoppy summer.
That's when I'm like, all right, we're actually making beer that I don't mind drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
See, something like that, especially if you're doing a small ABV, like, 4 and change
Yeah.
for the summer, crushies,
Yeah.
where, people put it in a 12-ounce can instead of a 16-ounce, and people take that to the beach, take that on the boat,
if
take
they're
that.
hopheads and they really like that
Kids'
overly
baseball
hop
games?
stuff. Yeah, yes.
You
By the way,
savage.
don't start. Best way to drink beer at a baseball game. You bring your little Yeti cooler.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
You have your beers in the car, and you just go, I forgot something in the car. You just sit there right with every baseball game. What else am I doing for 2.5 hours as the kids are throwing freaking ball at the ball at the ball? I'm watching them load the bases, and I'm like, oh, my God. By the way, shout out to my son who pitched the other day, struck out 2, let up 2 runs, walked 2, and then ended up leading off the bottom of the first with a in-the-park home run.
Oh, so he's
Shout out
starting.
to
He'll
him.
be starting for the Mets on.
No, he will not. No. The O'Toole name does not allow you to do professional sports. Trust me. It allows you to be just good enough to have someone to say, "Hey, I remember you," and then
So
that's it.
he's going to pretty much be drunk the rest of his life.
Oh yeah, for
Awesome.
sure.
Awesome.
He's already tasted my
Awesome.
beer. He's already
Awesome.
like his favorite
Keep it
thing
up with
is
the family tradition.
absolutely. He's touching the foam. And that's what I let him do. Just you can have a little foam, and he goes, "That's good." I'm like, "Yes, you."
You're
got
like, shit, he's going to start drinking my 60 minutes.
No, when he gets into my sours, that's when I'm going to have a problem because he's going to see those sours and go, "What is this deliciousness?" It tastes like the candy that I love to get the
Oh, yeah.
7-Eleven candy out. So, have you guys considered any alternate recipes? Anything like a sour or anything? Discussions with Rob what a wild new I guess variant would be.
I mean, we got as crazy as a Pilsner.
You guys are fucking out of control.
We're animals.
These guys are out of control.
Tone it down,
You know what? We got to shut this down. These guys are they're getting nuts.
By the way, Helmholtz Brewing is saying, "What's up, everyone?" He's saying it's always stout season. So
Hey.
he's right. I mean,
Ah,
like
man,
this
after
guy.
my own
I
heart.
like this
Or
guy.
what's that, Jeremy?
I like this guy. Yeah.
Yeah, Helmholtz on Instagram, Helmholtz Brewery. Listen, we have a segment coming up, so anyone that's on the Instagrams right now, go over to our Instagram bio. There are links to the live feed that's on the Govs Comedy Club podcast YouTube and Facebook page. You can see it in full HD along with Jeremy, who's also over here. Those of you on Instagram that can't see, there he is. But you get the full version of that. So I'm going to say goodbye to Instagram for a little bit. We'll be back after our little segment here. Go ahead, Steve. Set up your segment while I just share this video real quick, and I'll edit it
all
back
right.
later.
And now that since we have a bunch of guys on, I'm going to ask you guys 3 questions. Very simple. Nothing like what's your social security number or anything like that. But just try to think about it and just whatever is there. Not you don't have to think too much into it. It's nothing crazy. It's just kind of getting an idea of what you guys are possibly into beer wise, and we get some interesting questions, answers that we don't expect sometimes. So but then we get those answers that are like, yep. Everybody says that one.
Well, listen, then don't skew their actual answers in that don't say anything boring as shit. I'm just saying in general, like, be truthful with your answers because you know what you get. All right, so this segment is sponsored by, oh, shit, that's right, I actually did that. This segment is sponsored by Hopscotch Bottle Shop. Hopscotch Bottle Shop in the heart of Deer Park, right on Long Island Avenue. Go to Hopscotch on
Anniversary's coming
Instagram.
up.
Oh, yeah, anniversary's coming up June 25th. 3-year anniversary. I can't believe it's been that long.
Yeah.
It feels like yesterday they were opened up. But shout out to Mark and Ryan over at Hopscotch. And listen, you want some good beer, you want some hard-to-find stuff, go to Hopscotch's website,
And some
pre-order it,
awesome
pick it up.
Goddamn grilled cheeses.
And then you can go right in, pick it up, and then enjoy yourself some nice beer on tap. And
yeah,
as well
see,
as
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that over there.
He wakes up
He's
for
like,
food.
goddamn
Wait,
grilled
yeah.
cheese.
Oh, let's get a close-up of Jim on the couch, agreeing
Jim on
with
the couch.
all of
I'm
that.
Jim
big
on the
food
couch.
guy.
Jim on the couch.
Dude, Ryan's grilled cheeses are the stuff that he's come up
Ridiculous.
with. It's not just his cheese and
You remember when he
butter.
came in?
Yeah.
And they brought all those grilled cheeses.
You weren't there when Steve joined the show over the pandemic. Before that, when we had them in first, they came in with with Mike from American Beauty,
Oh yeah.
and it was Mark and Mike and Ryan and Mark's Uncle Vinny or Uncle, I forget what it was, whatever. They brought in artisan bread that they made themselves. They brought in cheeses from all over Long Island, from like these cheese areas that come up with this, and they had a full spread, and then they matched it with the beers, and it was like we're all just like a bunch of gabons.
Jim, wipe your mouth, bro.
All right, let's get into this segment. This is Steve's 3 questions. very special presentation. 3 questions with our very own Steve Pominski. Yeah. Steve's questions. 3 questions from Steve. 3 questions. Steve's questions. Go. You hit the post. You're getting much better at that.
Man.
I mean, after a year and a half to 2 years of doing it.
It happens sometimes.
Well, have we been doing Steve's
Sometimes.
questions for like over a year? Yeah, it's been over a year. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, easily.
All right, so set it up, buddy. I'm going to go to the bathroom while you guys knock it out of the park.
Well, I guess I'll start with Jeremy first.
There you go.
Since
Oh, boy.
he's on the Zoom and he's not here, and all right. So I'm going to ask each of you one question at a time. It's not going to be all 3 because it gets all fucked up and nobody remembers the second question after they say the first one. But Jeremy, what was that one beer that back in the day turned you on to craft beer where you said, I got to know more about this? What is this all about?
Surly, Minneapolis. I remember the brewery getting into a big fight with the suburb of Minneapolis, Brooklyn Center, which is where I grew up. And I remember reading all this shit in the paper about like how they were fighting for building a brewery in this area because the water was so good and this, that, and the other. And I was just getting into craft beer, and it was like sunshine from the heavens when I drank my first Surly beer.
Do you remember what Surly it was?
Yeah, Surly Furious.
Ah, yes, I've had that.
Then they had one called a Coffee Bender.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a coffee stout, and that was like the second best beer I've ever had. So, yeah.
Surly did it for you. I like that. I like that. All right, Dave. What about you? What was that beer that turned you on to, and it can't be one of your own? You can't say, oh, yeah, it was
it's that
Two Havens Hazy fucking got me.
I can't think of the first one, but like the one that always comes to mind is just like a classic. I love Main Lunch IPAs.
Yes.
Whenever I see that anywhere, I always grab it. Like it's always tasty, and like that's the one that kind of resonates in my head. I'm sure there was
Okay.
other ones along the way, but that's the one that I can always.
I love Mo, which
Okay.
is my initials, Michael O'Toole. So for the most part, I know. But I am a fanboy of Maine. I've never been there. It's one of the ones I need to get to. I know you've been there.
Oh, man.
I know. I need to go.
And of all days, I show up there. It's the release of dinner. So I left there with 2 fucking cases of bottles of dinner, much to the chagrin of my wife.
How did you get
How
those
much are
bottles
these?
home? You drove,
drove.
right?
We drove all the way to
So
Maine.
you clink,
Well,
clink all the way home?
We were there for a beer festival.
Yeah.
We were pouring at the festival.
Well, that's right.
That was the Sierra Nevada.
The Sierra Nevada one. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, I remember you were talking
And
about that.
so we brought all the kegs up and that, and
Yeah.
and we're like, let's stop there, let's see what's going on. And we see this fucking line. I'm like, wow, yeah, I know they're popular.
Something's
but.
up.
And then all of a sudden,
You
I
can find
go
dinner
online.
anywhere, but it's weird that like they have a line for dinner.
Well,
we can get
this
that.
was the release, the first time,
first ever.
It was the first ever
Oh, I'm
dinner.
about to say we can get dinner. I mean, you can find it somewhere here on Long Island for sure.
Yeah, it was the initial
lunch
release,
and Mo.
the original release of dinner.
Wow.
I just happened upon it.
Wow.
I brought 2 cases home, and just gave them out. Because after a week of drinking,
your own beer release back
I
here on
drank
Long Island.
so many bottles of it in a week's time. I'm like, oh God, no more dinner for me.
Do you ever get that? Do you ever get like what's the word I want?
Sick and tired of
No,
shit?
no,
Oh.
but no. It's like the word that you get when you're like tired of something. I can't think of a good word for it.
You're tired of it.
Right? No, it's not
Oh, you were
helping
looking
me.
for something.
I'm gonna look it up while we go to the next
Okay,
person.
you
Sorry,
do
that's
that.
my fault. A good word for it.
All right. All right, what's that one beer there?
I mean, it's not original, but Heady Topper.
Oh,
Yeah, it was years ago, and my buddy who lives up in Connecticut, he's like, yeah, my friend, we waited online for 2 hours at this brewery to get this beer. They would only sell them 2 cans.
Yeah.
He's like, and I'm going to give you one of them.
back in the day, yeah.
I'm like, I'm like, all right, cool, it's beer. And then I taste it, I'm like, I get it.
Man. Jim?
It's gonna be a shocker.
Oh, sorry, I don't have them
Yep,
up. My
there you
bad.
go.
I got them.
A shocker. I really didn't know much about craft brew before, like hanging out with these guys and
Sure.
brewing. So, I really didn't have a favorite. I wasn't into like craft beer, but like since brewing, I mean, I like our hazy IPA.
What did I just say before?
Sorry.
Know of your own beer.
Not your own.
No, I mean, I'm not really like.
You're more like a lager guy though, like which
Yeah.
is actually like I feel like trending. It's coming around, so
Yes.
he's ahead of
Crispies are making
so
that
like
hard
we
comeback.
made a pills once. So like to sidetrack, like we said, Jimmy's more the cleaner.
Yeah.
He's not the big beer guy, but we made a pilsner one time and most of the time Jim would take like a couple beers and like when you're home brewing you like split off the beers like
Sure.
you never get so many. He's like I'll just take a couple, I'm good. And then he's like let me try the pilsner. And then we're in the basement where my kegerator is, and he's just like hammering beers. I never seen this guy drink so many beers before. He's like, "This is really good." I'm like, "Do you want
Passed out
another
in the
one?"
corners.
He's like ripping on this thing. I
He's
was
got
like,
the tap in his mouth.
I'm like filling up growlers. I'm like, "Take it all."
Well, that was one of our barometers
Yeah.
to know if we had a beer that was actually
Yes.
worthwhile. Because if Jim likes it, then
Yeah.
we know at least it's decent.
Jim likes it.
Jimmy likes
Jimmy likes it.
He'll drink it all. Jeremy. All right. Second question. What is?
Oh, I didn't miss that much. I basically came out right
you,
there.
you,
All right,
you-
nice.
you-
I peed pretty
you
quick.
did a pea sprint.
I did.
What?
I've been known for that, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm known for.
What right now? What is your favorite style to drink, and what is your favorite style to brew?
Favorite style to drink. I am going back to West Coast IPAs right now.
Yeah, buddy.
Nice.
And favorite style to brew. I mean, because of the challenge, I kind of want to, I like lagering. Not that we're good at it, or we've been good at it, or I've been good at it, but I just like
The challenge.
I just want to. Yeah, it's the challenge of lagering. I want to try it more.
Yeah, because if you can make a really good lager, then you're doing a good job brewing.
Yeah.
Anybody
right.
can make IPAs and stouts and stuff. You just add a bunch of shit in there and mask the flavors
just
of all
like
the
that, huh?
all the
Bunch
off
of shit.
flavors, all the diacetyl and all that crap. But yeah, if you got a really clean, crisp lager, yeah, you did something good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? Other brewers will recognize that.
Oh, well, 100%.
That is like a brewer's beer.
100%.
And they'll
Well,
go.
that's what we. So next beer, should we be doing a lager? Is that what we need to do? Do we need to? I want to do a pilsner. We don't know if it'll sell, but people need to speak up because I want to try a pilsner. I want a nice pilsner in a can.
I think the
Two
lager
Havens
would sell better, right?
It's
Yeah.
it's.
Maybe.
I mean, here's the thing.
Once you have anything with pale ale in after it, it's tough. I know.
once there's so many different styles of what people consider lagers or pilsners. I mean, you have Mexican
Right.
lagers, and and that's when people are like, oh, it's a Mexican lager. That's the big thing now. I'm
Right.
gonna get that.
Which
It all
is
depends
just
on
a sweet
what you
lager.
feel comfortable doing.
Clear, sweet
and
lager.
again, the competition you're going to go up against, you got to read where
Is hazy
where you're
IPAs.
selling, where you're selling this beer, who's going to buy it. It's you don't want to be sitting on a lager for months, and now it's October, and you're like, fuck. I
And
got
the
all
other
this
thing
lager,
is-
and Jimmy's just pounding them
Yes.
in the basement.
Buy profit.
Yeah, exactly.
At least he's shoveling out, trays of lasagna.
Well, that's it. If
Yeah.
he's bringing wings and pizza,
I haven't made a trail of lasagna yet.
wearing a moo with a
Deep-fried
half
turkey.
a boob hanging out. And he's just throwing it out there.
there we go. Hey.
Get Two Havens house code, then we'll just.
Oh boy.
Hey, it's all right.
Here we go, Jim. It's going down real hard.
I'll wear it.
No,
Dave.
but that's the thing. Like to sell something like that, you're up against it, even with your styles.
Yes.
and that's hard. So, what for you guys? And just to follow up with what Steve was saying, are you getting feedback from your distro drop spots of what's moving and what's not moving, or what's going faster than others? We'll say it's a nice way to say it, but like, is the hazy just that's the one, or is it the pale ale? Both are they equal?
We ask, every time we go there. One, not only what's.
I mean,
selling
Rob
for
will give you
us, but-
awesome feedback. He knows exactly
and
what's
also,
going on.
Also knowing, based on if it's a restaurant or a bevy, what's selling, and not only for us, but what do they see moving most? Because
Right.
they're on the ground floor. They see that stuff. So try to get input from them and to see what's next.
I used to like showing up to a place that we sold beer to, not saying who I am, just sit down and order a beer and watch who was buying what and what they were pushing. It gives you a real good barometer of if they like your beer, they'll be like, "Oh,
You're like a secret shopper.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Shopper.
exact. And somebody would be like, "Oh yeah, I'm into IPAs, hazies." If they push yours, you know you did a good job.
Well, that's
Yeah.
the beauty of having 5 people is that one person could go pitch somebody, and the other people
100%.
Hey, do you have Two Havens on tap yet?
Yep. Yep.
I mean, not that
You
we do
guys had
that.
that too.
Now we know why Dave Bernstein isn't in the room right now.
He eats some bad shawarma.
I know, he's out secret shopping.
He works in the city, so honestly,
Oh,
the
no.
Oh yeah, sure. He can get the old shawarma he
Some
wants.
bad shawarma will fuck you up.
alley dumplings.
Oh man.
He's in there at. I don't want to call out the restaurant name, but he's in at trying to get it. He's like, so you guys carry Two Havens? No,
No, I
right,
got bad shawarma.
I got some
I'm
shawarma.
gonna go blow up your bathroom now.
Oh God, sorry, Dave.
Dave, what's your favorite style to drink right now, and what would be your favorite style that you like to brew?
I keep kind of teetering back and forth. I drink a lot of hazy IPAs like everyone else, but honestly, now that it's getting warmer and like the hazies are like, I want to be to drive later.
Heavy.
So yeah,
but they're also heavy.
They're heavy too. So like, it's nice to have a crusher. Like I was up in Albany for the New York State Brew Association.
Oh, you
conference.
went nice
Yeah, and
at the Desmond Hotel,
now they moved it.
Now they moved it this
upgraded
year.
it. It's at
the theater.
the convention center now.
the
It's
convention
a
center,
bigger venue, but.
I've been to both. Yeah,
Utica Club was like
Oh
people
my
were
God.
crushing those, and like we had like a nice tower going, and
Guys fight for Utica Club
it's
down
crazy.
here.
It's like currency.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can mule it down, you'll make a killing.
Yeah.
I'll say this: Joe from Joey Abruzzo.
Oh yeah.
loves the Utica. I posted a picture.
All those guys though. All the
Dude.
guys from Dubco
Yeah, oh yeah.
kill for Utica.
I was up in Utica. I was up at Cooperstown
Yeah.
for Mike Piazza induction, and we bought a 30 rack of the Utica, and we brought
gone by the end of the night.
Dude, we were in the hot field, but nothing is better than those cold, crisp freaking beers. Sitting in my cooler in a lawn chair, watching Mike Piazza shed a tear, and I brought some home.
And his hot Playboy.
Yes, well, I don't think she was there. I didn't see her.
No.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Maybe his boyfriend was there.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe it was what's his face.
John Olerud.
Yes, there you go.
Oh,
There
yeah.
you go. But I had those pictures that we took, and I posted them at one point when we were doing the show, like a year or so later. And first person to freaking Joe's like, dude, you got these? Where are they? Like he immediately wanted to know where we were at with the Uticas, and I'm like, dude, this was like from 2 years ago. I apologize for teasing everybody.
Every so often you'll see.
But if
somebody.
you're in the Cooperstown,
my
Omegang
God.
area.
Yep.
Dude, that's what
you
everyone
gotta
is
buy,
drinking.
you have to buy cases of it to bring
do,
back.
you do.
Because if you don't, you're a dick.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know that was the currency.
No,
and
it's
I
true.
was the dick.
If
I felt
somebody
bad.
that
Felt
you
bad
know
teasing people.
sees you post a picture of a Utica club and you didn't give them one,
Oh, you're a dick.
you're a dick now.
You're all of the dick.
You didn't try to share it. You didn't buy like
Not the head,
couple
not
of
the
30
balls, not the
couple of-
shaft, the whole thing.
couple
That's
of
what you
30
are.
racks. You
Yep.
know,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Dave came back with nothing, so.
I didn't bring the beer. The beer was there.
That's why you deserve the shawarma.
yeah, well, it was. I did see pictures from there.
Oh,
yes.
that's it.
Yeah,
Okay, not
because
that
Fred
day.
Matt brought it. He brought tons with him. So
Yeah.
So up at the awards ceremony and all that, we saw some live stuff.
Yep.
What did you experience? Because they had obviously like a tasting time. When you guys walked around and did stuff. What stood out to you up there?
at the conference,
Yeah.
maybe like the awards thing was the best because
Yeah.
it's just there's brewers that like in towns that I never even heard of. I mean,
Sure.
I grew up upstate New York, but like I don't even know where these
You
places
grew up
are.
up there? Where'd you grow
Yeah,
up?
Rochester, Buffalo.
Oh,
area.
Jesus, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Bro,
That's
come
why Dad moved
Is
back
that-
there.
is
My
that-
I
bad.
let you shit on Rochester even while he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, fine. Used to it.
He was in the tunnels between the two buildings, as they say.
But yeah, the awards is the best because you got brewers that like. I mean, the brewery could be as big as this room,
Right.
And these guys are winning awards because blind taste test judging,
Yep.
and it's just
It's great that way,
it's
too,
so much
though.
camaraderie that way.
Yeah.
We
It's-
we
You
have
people like tearing up like from it, like
Yeah,
and
they're-
like,
they're
Genesee
so happy.
Brewery like won big.
yeah, they won the big award.
Yeah.
blood,
so it was-
sweat, and tears went
was
into
And they've
it.
been around. They're like,
forever. Drinking Jenny Cream Ale.
Yeah.
Bro. Mike, the cream ale that we used to brew.
Made it off of Tennessee, yeah.
I tried to copy that because it's
It's so good.
so fucking good.
It's what they're known for. We have a buddy, Chris, from the Warbler up in
Yeah.
Albany. No one heard of the Warbler. I stopped in there on a random trip for work and ended up really enjoying everything. We had him on the show once. Then we accidentally deleted the show. We won't do that for you tonight. And then we had him on a
Don't-
second time.
Hold on.
Yeah. I deleted the show. Not
Thank
we.
you,
Sorry,
not
my
we.
bad. My bad.
Not we.
I accidentally
Peter and I were.
Well, that's because the show cut out, right? And then we didn't.
Well, it dropped out.
It
on
dropped
us,
out
yeah.
on the second one. So, dude, it was just a nightmare. But in the end, because of all those follies, we became pretty good friends with Chris.
Yeah.
And the stuff that, again, he's brewing in a no-namer, everyone that says, oh, I heard of that, I want to get up there. I've been there 3 times now, and I brought the beer back for these guys. Amazing beer. Amazing beer in a shopping center. You wouldn't even have a clue that it existed. And that's what it is. And he won an award. And it's like those are the types of things, like, you don't know what the hard work people are putting in these small, secluded areas.
Give a shout out to a bunch of our boys here on the island for winning at TEP New York this weekend.
Yeah.
Peconic won
Yep.
a few. We had West
Spider-Bite.
Hampton won. Spider-Bite won. 1940s Charlie over there.
Charlie was on the last show.
It was good to see.
What did Charlie win for? It was
for the Heifer Injustice.
Ah, look at that.
For
Good
wheat
job.
beer.
Yes.
So he got a bronze there. Peconic took 3. Gold, silver, and a bronze.
Yep.
For sours and old ale.
Yeah.
West Hampton won for
Again,
an IPA.
old ale. What is it? What is?
It's a style of.
So what was the category?
It's
The category was an old ale.
Old ale.
Was it?
Yes.
There's an old ale category?
Yes,
I've
it's-
never seen that in any of the award ceremonies.
It's more bitter than it is anything else.
Okay.
Very traditionally malted forward.
Okay.
So.
Interesting.
West Hampton won for
I'd be interested
IPA.
to try that. The old ale. I don't know. I'd
So-
be interested to see if that hits my palate the right way.
Was that in a cask or was it
No. These were everything you submit. It either has to be in bottle or it has to be in can.
No, but did he make it cask wise?
No, this is something they had on tap.
Really?
In the brewery, yeah.
Damn, I didn't know about this. How come we didn't get at it from 2 weeks ago? Fucking Charlie.
when I picture old ale or when I hear old ale, I picture like old British
Well, you're actually kind of
Warm
that is
ale.
kind of down the style. It is that malty, with a little bitterness to it, slightly sweet finish, but really
not much carbonation.
you're not getting a lot of hop aroma off of it.
You're from Long Island. Aroma.
Aroma. You ain't gonna get that aroma.
Gotta get that aroma going.
Anyway,
Hey, Six Harbors checking in. What's going
hey,
on?
what's up, guys?
That beer dad, Diana. Oh, Diana's checking in. Say hi to your wife. And Helmholtz is back on. So a bunch of people checking in.
Cool. What's your favorite style?
Oh, we're still on the
brew?
questions.
Yeah,
Holy
we're
shit, I
still-
totally
yeah,
forgot.
Question 2.
Yeah.
Wow, I think this is a long
I'm still at Dave over here.
We didn't even get around.
Sidetracking.
Are we on question 3 or 2?
2.
Holy smokes, dude. We're going to be
Speed
here
it
forever.
up. So what was it?
No, speed up. We got plenty of time.
What was it? Favorite brew to drink, a favorite brew to brew?
Yep.
So I think for brewing, like, I want to do another barrel aged something or other. So anything barrel aged.
You're a sycophant for pain, aren't you? And
Yeah.
You
Well,
want some more of that tussin?
I got one. Yeah, we're 1 out of 2. So
There you go.
500.
Yeah.
I'll take
Yeah.
it.
That'd be a hell of a batting average
Yeah.
if you were sitting in Cooperstown if you had that batting average.
We're going to get an angry phone call from Rob if you tell him we're going to do another barrel.
I don't know. He wasn't 100% dead. He just said no more bottling again because he showed me like the pictures of his bruised knuckles because the the hoses kept coming undone. So he kept jamming it up into the manifold and punching his hand up there. So
Poor bastard.
Yeah. He asked for it though. He asked
Yeah.
for it.
Favorite to drink is anything IPA. I love
Okay.
IPA.
What's your favorite IPA? You had to pick one. Don't ask.
He's not going to fucking say 60
I know
minutes.
he's not.
Yeah,
That's fine.
no. I mean, I'll go Sand City Day Drifter.
Oh,
nice.
Ooh,
Oatmeal
little
IPA.
it's like a session almost, right? It's not like
I don't
a
think it's
easy
that heavy,
drink.
but I just know it just has a different flavor to it with the oatmeal.
It's like a
flavor.
5.5. It's short, but it's nice though. You're right. That's a beach drinker for sure.
Yeah,
Those in the cooler head
yeah.
to the beach.
Yeah, my favorite to make would probably be like a pilsner. I like when we make it because the trick, want it to be that crystal clear.
Sure.
Yeah.
You pour it in the
Sure.
glass and you just, if you mess it up, you'll know.
Success!
But,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah.
But when you pour it in, it's clear and it's crisp.
And
It's
people
about hazy
will let
Pilsner.
you know.
Hazy Pilsners
Exactly.
are coming back around.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Jim on the couch.
I'd say pills. I
Yeah?
want something to drink
I had a
after.
feeling you were going to say that. I don't know why.
After you mow a lawn,
because
it's hot out. You just want
Yeah,
something
man.
nice to drink.
He
Yeah.
wants his hot wings and his goddamn
he wants
pizza.
he wants a
And then a crispy
he wants a
barbecue
lawnmower
beer.
beer, man.
I
He
don't
wants that
blame him.
lawnmower beer. Yeah.
Dad bod beer.
It is good.
All right, the final and third.
You know what? You guys are making me want to drink a Pilsner right now. Like I said.
It's working.
Shit. Now I kind of want.
Now we got to go to 7-Eleven on the way home.
No, well, I gotta go fucking 7-Eleven.
This is our marketing
I'll go hit up
strategy.
Rob over at West Babylon Superstar.
Well, yeah,
or,
well, he'll be close.
or yeah, maybe not now. I'm not going to drink anymore now.
Why not?
Tomorrow. Tomorrow's a new day. I got a
You
baseball
could-
game
we could-
coming up. We got
could
Pilsner
hang out.
to
We
go.
could hang out with the Carnies in the
Oh
parking
my
lot.
god,
yeah.
dude.
It'd be a great time.
I'm gonna get someone.
You know
pregnant.
they're crushing. They're crushing
We're just gonna hope
friggin'.
Dave's car's still there.
Let's hope for the best. You don't have 3 wheels sitting on the gravitron
Right.
spinner thing. Oh, we ran out of wheels and we got to.
Yeah, we gotta take one of yours, buddy.
God damn it!
All right, final question, with Jeremy. You go to a bar or restaurant. What is that one beer from any time, any place that you would hope they have that you can drink?
Oh, anytime, any place.
Yeah.
Your dad would say Rheingold.
Yeah, I mean, a
Sprite.
style or
Anything,
or like,
anything that you have had in the past or recently or whenever you would want to see on tap so you can have.
and anytime,
And it can't be one of yours. Don't try to pull this shit.
because I've lived all over, been all over. I would say a coffee stout from Schlafly.
Oh, wow.
That first time we got that
That's
one.
the first time, yeah.
A
Yeah, I
well-traveled
mean,
man has well-traveled stories.
So you missed his original beer that got him into craft. Was
Oh, okay.
Surly.
oh yeah, Surly.
Surly Brewing.
Well, when you're in Minnesota, you got to drink
yeah.
freaking Minnesota beer.
Minnesota.
So
We've
when
had
I-
plenty of Surly
Yeah.
in our day.
So when I lived in St. Louis, Missouri, I was within 3 minutes biking distance to the.
Here we go with the
Schlafly.
bikes again.
Yeah, what's these guys love the fucking
Yeah, they love the bikes and getting hammered. I love it.
So I would bike
Minnesota.
over to Schlafly, and I ended up becoming the resident DJ at the brewery in the tap room, and I was given a lot of free Schlafly. That's where actually the APA idea came from. I wanted to drink an APA
all right.
because they obviously, like everybody else, they had a pale ale that became their like flagship. That was their first thing. But their APA really became what Schlafly is known for in the city
wow.
now. And I was like, guys, if we can match anything close to that APA,
Yeah.
we're good to go.
There you go.
And so someday I want to do a coffee stout like Schlafly's coffee stout. That'd be-
Nice.
Surly is really good. I've had
Really
we have a buddy that lives Tom Putas.
Don't curse.
I'm not. I'm trying my damnedest.
Fucking bastard.
My buddy Mike, who lives up in Canton, right by Trillium, went to school at Northeastern, and he
Oh, yeah.
had a bunch of friends that lived and they're still all good friends up there. But Tom, I guess because of his job, moved out to Minnesota, and we were playing poker over the pandemic. And every night we were playing poker. This guy's pouring Surly's. I'm like, you
Nice.
son of a bitch. And
Nice.
somehow we got him. I forget how. Maybe Pete. Pete actually probably went out to Minnesota for work and ended up getting a couple Surly's, and we had those. Delicious beer, man. The stuff that they're doing, underrated, and not a name on the tip of the tongue.
But more importantly,
Yeah.
what was the DJ name? Was it DJ like Gigantor since you're like 6'7", something like that?
No, it's
The
not
Big
a
Show?
fantastic name. It's more of a fantastic story. But
Oh.
it was the Nature Boy, and it was a mushroom.
Woo!
It was a mushroom related incident.
And here we go down the dark alley, kids.
Now you know why we
There we go.
added Jeremy to the brewery early on.
Cue the carnies. Here we go.
Here we go.
We got mushrooms involved here. What do we got going?
No, those were the old days. That's the past.
No.
Okay. all right. Well, maybe you want to bring him back, infuse him into a beer, and make everybody happy.
My God.
Can you imagine?
I
Can you
do.
fucking imagine?
Well, you could do it. All you got to just do a bunch of dry mushrooms sitting in the
Well,
beer, and you're good to go.
you could do it for your own consumption, but
What if you steep them in the hot wort? Like that's the whole point.
I don't know. I don't know what the like.
I mean,
They-
people
the,
make,
the
chemical
chemical
yeah.
compounds, do they break down in heat? Do they? I don't
they-
know.
hold
people
up in
make mushroom
cans.
tea. People
Yeah,
make mushroom
right.
tea.
Yeah,
exactly.
True.
Exactly. So my thought being, if you did that though with a beer, what would happen on the cool down?
put
What would stay?
One
What would-
slice in every can.
Just Pour into a glass. Don't look at it.
Don't look at it. Just drink it.
Anybody
Just drink
who's
it out of
gonna
the can.
make 5 gallons of it. It's going to be the Two Havens crew. Don't ask.
Yeah.
Don't ask, don't tell.
Oh my goodness.
Just drink it up.
That sounds like a fantastic story. We will talk about off the air.
Yes, yes. Dave, what
Dave's
would be
back.
that one beer that you would want to see on tap, not one of your own, that you could have had from any time, any place, anywhere?
I'll go 2 beers. So I'm going to go back to the main lunch because whenever I see that, I always get it because it's always fresh. But then I'll get another beer that's more like along the lines of like Utica Club that Jeremy turned us on to is Hams. Have you ever had Hams beer?
No, I'm not familiar.
He's giggling.
Hold on.
Hams.
Yeah, so it's another Minnesota thing. Minnesota beer, like a Utica Club type thing, a crusher, and you can't get it here, so you gotta like get someone to truck it in, or
and I mule it in for you.
Exactly. When I was out in Minneapolis, that guy Jeremy couldn't make it, but I was out there for the Craft Brewers Conference last year, and we went to all his old haunts because he gave me like a list of places to go. He's like, "You went there? You went to Grumpy's?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Grumpy's.
And then what do they have on tap? Hams. So I was like, we were hammering hams all night.
Hammering the hams.
You gotta boof me some hams.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, just boof them into the state.
Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
I mean, it'd be uncomfortable ride home, but
water. Yeah, that was pre-prohibition beer. Like that actually.
Really?
Yeah, that was.
Wow.
That was,
It's the Midwest Utica Club, basically.
Yeah. Wow. Hams.
it's a lager.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a crispy boil.
I think I still have a can in my fridge.
we actually,
Oh,
Been
shit.
there for a couple of years.
Opening day, gotta crack the hams.
we honestly did a clone of it in the homebrew times, and it was the biggest piece of horse shit we ever did.
It was so bad.
Honestly, it was one of the more complex beer. It was like multi-stage. We're like, what
Oh,
the heck?
dude.
We're like, this is like, it should be easy, and we fucked it up royally.
It cost $250 to brew, and it took us like 20 hours, and it was the biggest piece of shit.
90-minute sink beer.
Wait,
Oh, my God.
now let me ask you, was it worse than the freaking Tussin?
I don't think
That Tussin.
You could drink
Tussin
it.
keeps coming back
Well,
to
you know what,
haunt
because
you.
Tussin could, like, cure the Black Plague.
Yeah, that's true.
From what I
Easily,
hear.
Good.
Yeah.
Actually, that
boring because Dave already said it, but main lunch.
Okay.
It's just,
The one beer you want.
yeah. Just if I see
Guys
it,
love your
more.
IPAs. I love it.
Yeah.
They know their IPAs too. Heady Topper. I want to get back to you. Said a Heady Topper
Yeah.
before, right? Where did you obtained it up there? Were you up in the northern northeast area?
I got it from my buddy in Connecticut. Got it from a friend that did a brewery tour. But he still got it at the brewery in Vermont.
kind of like
Vermont,
secondhand
yeah,
from
New Hampshire,
passed
I forget
down.
where.
I
He-
just
He got
love.
it someplace in Vermont, New Hampshire. That's where
Yeah.
he got it from. I don't think I got it from the brewery. Forgot.
I went into my local Home D,
Yeah.
Belmore Bev, the other day, and there were cases
Cases.
of Heady Topper and Focal Banger.
Are they just sitting on one
Cases.
shelf?
No, in the they put them in the
Oh,
cooler.
all right.
They have a walk-in cooler,
All right.
and yeah, just cases. of
Focal
it.
Banger is the American IPA, right? It's the darker.
It's
of the. well, American
more.
Pale Ale.
It's a higher ABV.
Yeah.
and
See, I think I liked Focal Banger
Banger's-
more than I liked Heady Topper, and I liked Heady Topper, but there's so many more other hazy IPAs that I could be enjoying tremendously. I do again like it, no problem with it, but I always tend to like this American. So we're gonna break these down in a few minutes, but
break it down.
break it down. The Walls of Jericho. The American IPAs to me is like that balance, right? You got a hop head hit in the face, but then you got like the nice backbone of just an ale, and it's just smooth. I like it better. I don't know.
All right.
More into it.
Last
Jim on
but
the
not
couch.
least, Jim on the couch.
I'm going to go with Stroh's.
All right.
Back in the day, just bring it back to college.
Yeah.
What shitty beer tastes like.
Yeah.
I was more of a Natty Ice guy.
That,
You didn't do the beast?
that was a,
Oh, I did Beast, of course.
Stroh's is a step up from that.
Yeah,
He was.
it's a
he was
dollar extra
pinky
for a
out.
30
I was
rack.
pinky
There
out.
we go.
He was pinky out on those cans.
It was 1999, and
Yeah.
they're like the highfalutin just. I was drinking. I'm saying Bud Light Ice, Red Wolf.
Red Wolf.
Oh yeah.
Oh, don't forget Red
Oh
Dog.
yeah.
Yeah,
Red
no,
Dog.
Red Dog, too.
Red Dog,
And
yeah.
then there
I
was
think Red Dog was the first beer I ever had.
Definitely Bud Light Ice. It was like the ice cold lagering version. It was just so over the top flavorful, and you're like, okay. But after one, you're like, I'm numb to the taste, so I'm good to go.
You know,
But it
you
was a
just-
higher ABV. That's what the key
You
was.
just reminded. The very first beer I ever drank was my dad's, and it was a Peels
Peel?
in a little stubby bottle.
Really?
Yeah.
Like
It was in lager.
a red stripe bottle?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It looked like identical to that bottle.
Huh.
Peels.
Weird.
Peels Real Draft. That's what
Real
it's called.
draft.
That's what it's called.
It can't be fake draft because shit's gonna go down.
Peels
But
Real Draft.
Holy
fucking remember
smokes,
that.
dude! And what year was this?
Oh, I was 10 years old.
Okay,
11.
so
somewhere
like
around there.
92, 93.
Like in 1916.
16. What do you? Charlie was already a grandfather.
You got it in the speakeasy.
Yeah, exactly. You got under
No,
the table.
I fucking.
It was on a boat across
we were in
the
the back-
Champlain Lake
backyard
Champlain.
and whatever. It was like my communion or some
Oh,
shit.
communion.
Yeah.
I remember. I'll give you this. I remember my parents having. Now, it wasn't a communion, but it was something like a family party, and we had a porch right off, a screened-in porch off the back of the house, and they had all the liquor lined up on a table, but they were all in the kitchen, and we were outside on the porch. And we took a bunch of different liquors. We didn't know what we were doing. I think I was probably like 8 or 9. And I remember drinking whatever it was. So whatever I used the most of, peach schnapps or something, I was like,
poured water into
this
it?
is delicious. No, everything was a vodka gin.
I did that to my parents. They were like, "Oh, let me pour this vodka into this
I
bottle.
smelled each one.
Shit, they're gonna know it was gone. Let me pour water into it."
No, I wasn't trying to replace it. They were too drunk to even know. They,
there you
they had no idea how much they went through.
Well, again,
so,
O'Toole's.
I know. Well, yeah. So they were the McBastards didn't have a clue what I was doing.
McBastards.
So I was smelling each bottle. I'm like, oh, this one smells good. I think it was peach schnapps or it was triple sec or something. And I was like, so I did most of it at that, but I mixed in like Kahlua. Oh yeah. There was
Like a cement mixer?
Oh, yeah. No Baileys. But there was it was definitely Cointreau, which is
man.
kind of triple
And
sec.
that's why you became a bartender, right?
That's
after
why I
that.
became a bartender. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'll never mix this stuff for myself
So
again.
ever again.
And I'll make sure that
Nobody
one
else can
ever
ever have
makes
that.
the mistakes I made. But I drank most of it. I remember at like 8 or 9, like getting away with feeling a little drunk and a little tipsy. And
That day too, I remember my dad being so he fell down the stairs into the basement.
oh God.
And my mother's like, "Where the fuck is your father?" And he's down at the bottom of the steps, all fucking twisted up.
My dad,
What
by the way,
fuck? He's like,
speaking of-
"Hey, what the fuck?"
speaking of fathers fallen, my dad fell at the Ducks game yesterday.
Oh, no.
He's 78 years old, and he did not have a good fall because his hot dog left, and that's what he was most upset about. His hot dog went this way, he went that way. He's okay.
That pissed him off.
He's
You know
okay.
how much
everybody.
that hot dog cost?
Yeah, it's $7.
Yeah.
That wasn't as bad as like the Mets game, but he was upset about the hot dog, and he was complaining more about the hot dog than he fell on a seat,
yeah.
and he's hurting,
Oh,
and he's
no,
like,
he
I'm
fell on the
sore.
seat.
But you know what? I really missed that hot dog. I was really.
My dad, I'll buy you another one. Shut the fuck
I
up.
got you, buddy. I got you. You want? I got chicken dogs tomorrow.
Look,
Let's
yeah,
go.
look, I know you got broken ribs right now, but
You're good. You're good.
oh
I
man,
know. So you followed up all your 3 questions?
yeah.
All right. So let's get
Tim
into
was the last one.
Let's get in some beers. So let's go through this because we started off tonight with the hazy IPA, and you're telling me this is I guess version 1, we'll call it El Dorado, Equinaut, Citra, and Azaka.
Who knows what the fuck you just said?
I don't know.
I'm gonna look
It's
at the can. So
Equinox?
Equinaut.
Equinox?
Equinaut? But why wouldn't you do QU?
I can't.
I know.
See it
I know.
because-
I don't understand English language sometimes. But you guys obviously, hopped beyond hops. So let's talk a little bit about this process. What are we doing for grains? What are we doing for, brew process? What went into this?
I mean, it's primarily like Golden Promise, Pale Malt. I mean, the rest of it, that's kind of the base grains. And then, we have a heavy dosing of El Dorado. No one knows how to pronounce Euconaut, so we didn't dry hop with that. Cause we
You
go.
see, it's not Equinaut.
I don't know if
Well,
that's
I
the right
couldn't
way.
read
It's-
it.
But that might be the pronunciation.
no one knows
sounds
what it
right.
is. So
Yeah,
we
I
just-
said Equinaut, but I don't even know if that's the right pronunciation.
No one knows.
I'm not an English teacher. I'm a teacher, but not an English teacher.
Well, it's
Fuck all those guys
freaking-
with their pronunciations. and
New
grammar. I don't
Zealand
need that.
shit.
We're happy that we at least spelled it right on the can. It was
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
No one knows
That's
how
what
to pronounce
matters.
it, so it's spelled right on there. So
Equinaut?
Unlike when we had a beer and we fucked up writing Mosaic and it came out Mosiac.
Mosiac.
So yeah, we got.
I
a
know
lot-
him.
We got a
Jack
lot.
Mosiac.
We
He
had
used to
gotten
play
a lot
T-ball
of
with me.
people going, man, that Mosiac hop is
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
That son of a bitch can rake.
Bastards. Fucking 90 fucking goddamn trays worth of
and no
Mosaic.
who was in charge of proofreading?
Yeah, it was me.
Yeah.
Will make you feel better. The barrel aged stout that actually was good, not the non-tussin. We didn't have 90
Not
days,
the non-tussin.
but barrel spelled with multiple L's. So,
Oh, there you go.
That was fun. So like we were about
Yeah.
to stick that on, and we're like, nope. So
It's
we just threw it
barrel.
on. Yeah, roll.
We put it in barrels.
I don't mind a barrel. But the process here, again, not much different from when you guys were home brewing. A few changes in ingredients, kind of went through the same temperature, marks.
We use the same mash temp, everything like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, Rob did all his magic behind the scenes as far as water and everything because he knows what he's doing out there.
Yeah, I mean, our home brewing temperature regulation was more like, we're close. Let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah. I mean,
All right, when we got to eat and drink.
Yeah, when you got two coolers going, it's like, all right, we need to be at 160. We're at 163. All right, throw a few ice cubes in. All right, now we're too cold.
If you leave the top of the cooler off, you'll naturally just get some.
Yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
fine.
So I just noticed this little subtle things.
Oh.
So you got a double decker train over here, but then over here you have the water tower.
Yeah, so that's actually from Dave's. We took that picture. I think the first day we brewed. That's the
Off the back
Greenland
of
water
backyard?
tower from Dave's old backyard.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And
And
then
how did you get the artwork to kind of blend in like that? Like that's, I guess, a real picture, but you do a little blur, you do a little, ghosting.
So Ben Owens from what is his company? Fine Art Designs, I think.
Yes.
He does all the graphic stuff. So he's
shout out
been-
to Fine
So
Arts.
he actually, I mean, he helped create the logo. He actually hand painted this the street sign
the fuck
and then
outta here,
digitized
man.
it.
Yeah, that's a crazy thing. So
Awesome.
that's actually a hand painted that he digitized because I thought he just like did it like
Yeah, it has
Yeah.
that look
But he
of
hand painted it on like an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and then he scanned it, and then from there, then he did like the blur background. We've been kind of
Yeah.
keeping that consistency, so the
you
cans-
have it vectorized. I'd assume that you
Yep.
can kind of
Yeah.
resize and make it.
Yeah,
what
you
you
can
want
do
to be.
whatever you want. So
For those of you in
I mean,
the,
the
that,
logo-
that are not in the industry, vectorizing means you take it and you create outlines so you can resize it without changing the resolution or the quality. Yes, I was a graphic arts minor. So.
Logo
Well, at
itself
least that
was
money went somewhere.
Yeah, it went somewhere. Didn't go to
Yeah.
brewing though. Fucking, I should have done that. What were you saying,
the
Jeremy?
the logo itself was like, it was kind of a fun, like, whole come full circle type thing because we, like, I don't know if it was Dave or Gary or whatever, we came up with the idea of like this street sign thing, and we had some other artists draw it up,
Yeah.
and it was very cartoony and all that, but it we kind of had this idea of the street sign logo.
Has that weathered
Yeah.
look to it?
Well,
like
shout
it's
out to
actually
Getty
out
Images
there.
for
Right,
their
but
free
it wasn't
services.
that.
first one, yeah.
First one was Getty. Yeah.
The first one, no, the first
Gotta
one
remove the
was a
watermark.
Sesame Street. It looked like Sesame Street. So we started speaking with some folks around the industry, and we're like, or reaching out to friends or whatever, like graphic artist people, and they were like, "You got to ditch that street sign. It's just the worst." It looks like Sesame Street and all this, that, and the other. We were
Sesame
like,
Street. All right.
yeah,
I didn't even make the connection.
Bad. Like, and we seriously we called. I had a buddy come in who was a graphic artist, and he gave us like a gazillion ideas, trying to play off of Smithtown and all. And so we had just a ton of ideas that went back and forth, back and forth. Full circle, we had Owens throw out the street sign again. We were just like, dude, let's try the street sign again. And when he finally like hand drew it, it was like, all right, full circle, we're
Yeah,
good.
the other ones were too clean, so I
Yeah.
think that was.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing too, like to back up before the street sign number 2, we toyed with doing like a dive bar kind of sign.
Okay.
So we toyed with that for a bit, but then we just
Like
kept
neon sign kind of.
Yeah,
old
like
school,
rusted,
like rusted,
beat
like
up.
busted up
Yeah.
bulbs. So we kind of liked it, but it didn't quite fit.
It just didn't feel right.
It's like Moe's Tavern.
So then,
Yeah.
yeah. So then we went back
Hey,
to
yeah,
the street signs.
I mean, I'll shout out to my wife here to get some points, but my wife's been saying for like 4 years that it's like you need to make this sign like hand drawn.
Yeah.
Like
It's gotta be
just
unique.
rough. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I'll just.
And it's nice and big, and it's clean, so you can see everything. So you know what the logo is, you know
Yeah.
where it's at. Are the plans to continue doing it with just color changes? You just going to do
Pretty much,
like
yeah.
red, or going to go into
Yeah, it's just because there's so many different crazy art. I mean, some of these cans are amazing, but when
Yeah.
you look at the shelf,
You want
they
the
kinda
brand to
blend
stand
in,
out.
So we figured this would stand out, and when they're next to each other.
Yeah, I mean, it hits
with
you in the
the
face. You
pops.
know what you're getting.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
don't. I mean, and then you could read beyond.
Yeah.
And I like what you did with the knockout of the the style and just kind of having like that background glow to it. And what you guys kind of are looking for is just having that consistency from label to label to label, and then being able to just kind of identify it either by color. A lot of breweries do that for sure. I mean, you look at the major breweries out there like Treehouse. I mean, their beers are color. That's what they are. So people see that stuff on the shelf, and Jeremy's going to add to that second. It stands out, and you kind of know what you're getting. You're like, okay, I want the green one, I want the blue one, I want the yellow one, whatever it is. So.
Yeah, I mean that was it, right? Like I was in Detroit one time, and I went to a beer bar, it was a craft beer bar, pinball machine place, and they had, it was awesome. They had a whole bunch of cases. So they didn't have any taps, so they had a whole bunch of cases behind the bar, and so the guy's like, "What do you want?" Now you've got 80 beers this far away.
You're 10 feet away, looking over the bar, going,
and I'm like, so there was one black can with a black top, and it just said IPA on it, and the one next to it said Pilsner on it, and I was like, I'll take IPA, and the guy brought it to me, and the bartender's like, yeah, we're selling the shit out of these, and I'm like, no shit, because it's not the only, it says what it is, and
the branding comes kind of second to what it actually the style is.
Right. So flash forward, I got a bunch of Montauk beers, and I was like, "What color, guys? What color do you want to drink?"
Yes.
It was like it's that simple. So
Joe Abruzzo, earmuffs. I love the purple. Purple is my jam. Just so you know. Yeah. I mean, that's my summer beer. I'll grab Wave Chasers and head down to the beach, and that's like my spot because it's 12-ounce crushable. 6.5s get you just feeling good enough. Green is looking good too.
I'm gonna be talking to Dogfish
Red's
about
nice
this.
for juicy. Yeah.
Really, not having a 60-minute.
But listen, I can't bring bottles down to the beach all the time.
They're in cans now.
I don't like them in cans. Whoa. They don't taste the same in cans. Don't even start with me.
Here we go.
They do not taste the same in can as they do in bottle. You got that metallic.
No one tastes good on the beach.
That's right, and nothing stays colder on the beach than a nice can and some ice. I'm just saying.
A nice can of Two Havens.
But you're right, the Jeremy.
What was that?
Who's ice and whose balls? The color matters. It really does, and that's exactly it. So I assume that's kind of the direction you guys are headed.
Yeah.
So identification. For the next beer that you're brewing, have you already decided on a label? Don't you have to get that pass through, approval from the state first before that goes in?
That's actually relatively easy for us.
Really?
Knock on wood, it's the one that we haven't screwed up, and it's been pretty quick.
Don't talk about that stuff.
Yeah. So no, that hasn't been too much of an issue. I mean, but we're still toying with what the next beer is going to be, so we don't have anything. But if you look at each beer, each one on there, it has the logo and then the color, but additionally the whirring rags on one of us. It roasts one of us on each one of them.
Yeah.
So we'll continue that theme along the way too. So you got the cohesiveness of the color and the simplicity of it, but then it's the humor aspect of just beating up on one of us each time.
Yeah, it's kind of like I'll take the Jeremy.
Yeah.
That's what you should start doing. Just start labeling it. This is the Jeremy. Take a note out of Maine.
That's one of the ideas we have for down the road is that, especially when we change out the background, we'll have each background dedicated to
a person.
One of us. Yeah, just name it after that.
Here's Mike's one question. I don't have a theme song for it. When you go to White Castle, first thing you order. I'm going to start with you.
I mean, it's sliders. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, but which one specifically?
Cheeseburger
right off the bat.
Case of cheese. So cheeseburger as well.
Yeah.
The sack of 4.
All right.
The meal, and then side of chicken rings.
Yep.
The chicken rings.
Yeah.
This motherfucker knows my shit. All right, hold on, Jeremy. I'm going to blow your mind real quick. You ready for this shit? All right, so this is an O'Toole original. I've never ordered anything else in probably 20 years. All right? 4-pack of cheeseburgers, chicken ring on the fucking burger, honey mustard sauce on the burger, cover it up. It'll blow your mind. I'm just letting you guys know that's a fucking White Castle hack that I've had since I was little. It is amazing, and as someone that loves foodie, you'll know. Oh my god!
I gotta try that. I used to do the cheeseburger dipped in Cheese Whiz.
Yes. Okay. Good.
Ooh.
Good. Yep.
That was a go-to.
I've tried it also with the jalapeno cheeseburger. Not as good as it was when it first came out. Something happened with their jalapeno stock. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't have the bite that it used to. And now it's just like a sloppy cock in the middle of my fucking burger, and I don't need it. I'm just saying, it's like something rubbery in the middle of the burger, and it doesn't have that bite to it anymore.
So you connotate a sloppy cock to
Right.
something rubbery.
Right. Right. I'm just imagining, just hoping that's what it would be.
Yeah, hey, man.
No experience
To each his
necessary.
own.
You know,
No,
I mean,
you just
when you
whatever
started
you-
brewing, did you have any experience in brewing? No,
Yeah.
but you worked it out,
No,
right?
yeah, I did.
No,
I went to
before-
school.
No.
Fucking went to
Well,
school.
sorry, I didn't
in
go to school.
Chicago, bro.
I didn't go to the school of sloppy cocks. That's my bad.
You sure?
Imagine if I did.
You
though.
would just learn this on
Self-taught.
Self-taught on the street.
Self-taught.
Hey, guys, how do I get a sloppy cock?
And how do you apply that to White Castle burgers?
I don't
well, that's a
know.
book to be written in
Well,
the future.
well, my son.
I will
write-
say we did have one brew day where we ordered multiple times from White Castle and had
yeah.
multiple deliveries.
Multiple
Yeah.
times.
Well, because my daughter came out at 11 o'clock at night and we were finishing the cleaning stuff, and she's like, "Where's my White Castle?" I'm like, "Shit!" So I'm like, "All right, chicken rings. We gotta get more than just that. We'll get some mozzarella
Another round.
sticks."
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
the mozzarella.
Yeah, I don't think we touched. I don't think we touched the fish. I think that's the one thing we left.
we
No,
saved
I
the
don't.
fish.
I don't
We
fuck
left that
around with
alone.
fish. Yeah,
But then some guy came in like a bright yellow BMW Z4 to deliver it, which was like really.
I really need to pay for
at
this
like
fucking
11:30
thing.
at night, and I was,
It was
like,
probably
okay.
my Grubhub guy. We had a post softball game. We had a championship game. We won the championship. We go back to my buddy's house in Amityville, and we get 3 30 racks of cheeseburgers, right?
boy.
And we decided that we're going to be playing Flip Cup with
of course.
beer, but then cheeseburger. So you have to drink the beer and eat the cheeseburger and then Flip Cup.
Man.
No, best night ever, dude. Because guess what?
Not the next day.
No,
Not the next day.
the next day was like their fucking stout that just went terrible.
no, like the other.
Oh, the blueberry
No,
sour.
the other Dave having problems.
That's where he's at right now. No, but the guy that delivered it was one of my ex students. We got it like. I called this guy. I'm like, "Where are you right now?" He's, "I'm in Massapequa." I go, "Perfect. Go to Massapequa White Castle. Get 3 30 racks of burgers." He brought it to me. I paid him $20. He was one of my ex students, like 5 years removed, and he's driving around in a fucking souped up Nissan, like a sports racer, and he pulls up, and I'm like, "Burgers are here. Let's go."
Like a lawnmower on steroids.
Absolutely. He delivered all. Shout out to my good friend Jared. Jared Bessemer delivered him. That's the kid, and he delivered 90 cheeseburgers. I was trying to do the math in my head. 90 cheeseburgers.
That hurt, didn't it?
To about 10 drunk softball guys, and
And it was all gone in the morning.
all gone.
Yep.
All gone.
So,
One of those
man.
nights that just will live in infamy, except for the fact that I accidentally made fun of his sister, who is in the WNBA now. I didn't mean to. I didn't know it was his sister. And I never recovered from that. I never did. It was my fault.
Piece
It was
of
my fault.
shit, you.
I was so drunk, and I just felt bad. And I was told the next day, like, don't mention it again. I'm like, okay, I won't. And it ended up fine. We won the championship. We played the next year. We did really well. But White Castle burgers,
My wife's
3 in the morning.
My wife's day-old chili on a White Castle burger.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I don't think
that's
they've
the way
ever
it goes.
thought of that. Put something, like a sloppy Joe together or something like that.
That would
Yeah,
be
it's like
all
when
over
we-
the fucking
the-
place, though. As
yeah,
you ate
that's
it.
fine. They
'Cause
get they got the cup.
normally you're eating it in the car like a savage.
Yeah.
Like you shove the whole
Yeah,
fucking...
yeah.
You don't even bite
It's
it.
2 bites. It's 2 bites. I'm waiting for the pickle to hit its mark. That's what I'm doing.
There
When
you
I'm getting
go.
those cheeseburgers, that pickle really hits it off. I'm just a huge White Castle fan, but it's like twice a year, because then it cleans me out and I'm good for another 6 months, and then I'll come back. It's like colon blow.
It's, what was it, a month ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had
You
one.
did it?
I had one of those nights.
Oh man.
Uber eated it.
Yeah.
At like
It's
12:30,
just not as good when it's
1 in the morning.
You're not eating it in the parking lot.
I had no
and then
clue.
Dumping the shit out.
I
of
had
the
no
fucking
clue.
parking
I
lot.
woke up the next day, there was fucking fries all over. My wife's like, "You're an asshole." Really, you had to order that? You
Grease
didn't
stains on the
fucking-
couch.
Oh, bro, it was so bad.
But it's so good.
It,
though.
like my shirt was like covered in grease
Nice.
and fucking.
That's
there was
sweat.
still
That's-
onions
that's
stuck
sweat.
to it. It
Nice.
was so bad.
That's the best. I get my pinky finger in that freaking box, and I get all those little onions.
Go from a sloppy jalapeno to
Well, I love getting I love fingering the onions out.
Here
It's
we
the
go.
best. I'm just saying, I get them out.
that and a sloppy
Taking a
dick.
By the way, I was listening. Well, I won't get into it because that's a whole nother story. So let's talk a little bit about the pale ale. The American Pale Ale to me was for me the highlight of the night because I love an American Pale Ale. I'm a Dogfish 60-minute guy. I will drink those like unlimitlessly. Is that right? Yeah. Unlimitlessly.
There you go.
And so for me, the sweetness, the bitterness all match up well. Give me the breakdown of this pale ale. American
Also, too, it was the color.
Yeah, it matched up.
I knew what I was getting.
Yeah.
We kept it real simple on that one. It's an American Pale Ale, Chinook, Nugget. Yeah. What else we got in there? Cascade. Like the real classic. Nothing too crazy, and people seem to like it. So.
And it pairs well with bacon.
Yeah.
That's absolutely correct. Because I'll cook a pound of bacon and just eat it like a snack.
All right, I got a little. I have to.
You got a little boner?
Well, we went.
Just asking.
Me, my wife, like a couple other couples went out.
Yeah.
And we got hammered up, and I'm like, let's go to the diner.
Okay.
Yeah, I just got a plate of bacon.
Just a side of bacon, yeah.
A plate of bacon.
Yeah.
And a bowl of ice cream.
That's brilliant. Vanilla, right?
Like the fat guy that I am.
Vanilla ice cream.
And it was the fucking best thing I had.
Whipped
because
cream?
No. And I was taking the bacon and
dip
putting
it
it
in.
in there.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, this is so good. I'll be dead in the morning,
That's
but
like
it's
that's
wonderful.
like getting your Wendy's fries with
Yeah,
the
the
chocolate
Frosty.
frosty.
With a Frosty.
And I say that to people look at me like I'm absolutely out of my mind, and I go, "Are you effing kidding me?"
I started
I don't know why I said effing. but whatever.
way back when.
Yeah.
We used to, when I was going to high school, we had a McDonald's right around the corner.
Yeah.
I would get a vanilla shake and
the
fries.
fries, right.
Whoop.
To me, the Wendy's fries stand up better because you can really get
Yes,
them in there, so
yes.
they're a little thicker cut. So that was like our Friday night snack when we go cruising on DPA and
Yeah.
my buddy's T-Bird with the T-tops. Jesus Christ, man, we were picking up the hotties with our fucking chocolate frosty. Let me tell you.
And fries.
I was eating whores.
That-
Carny whores.
Thank God I didn't finish what I was going to say. Oh, that's how you met Chris.
I'll go right
But you
there.
went to whore, and I was like, don't say
no,
nothing. Don't say anything.
She wasn't DPA, but
Thank
she loves
God.
her Frosties and fries, though.
There
I'll
you
tell you
go.
that. And so are my kids now. I'm like, I'm going to turn you on to this right now.
And you'll never be the same.
Because when you move to
will
the
never be
Midwest,
the same.
and people looking at you crazy, you got to try this. And then-
Crazy. Jeremy, tell you what are kind of the wacky shits in the Midwest?
oh my God, the food.
You can educate them about emos or what's the other
Emos.
Provel.
Well, I mean, the breakfast food is the slinger, which is just like it's hash browns and sausage patty and all of that with just chili dumped on top. That's
Whoa.
a breakfast.
Okay, I can get with that.
It's a really good one, yeah. But yeah, that was the whole discussion. When we were brewing one day, we got into this discussion about pizza, and I was like, I think Gary and I were talking about Chicago style pizza and
Right.
a little deep dish.
Little
shit.
deep dish, yep.
Yeah, and the gang was like, well, what else is there? Is there just Chicago or New York? I was like, no, there's a whole cornucopia of pizza out there in the world. So I flew in some St. Louis pizza. It's got Provel cheese on it. It was a
Oh, yeah.
cheese. Yeah, it was made like Kraft made it as like a World War II like supplement that
Provision.
they were gonna. Yeah, so it had a really low melting temperature. That was its key point. So soldiers were going to be able to spread it around on crackers and stuff like that. It never went anywhere. Stayed in St. Louis, but these people make pizza out of it, and it's the creamiest, richest, craziest.
They made so much of it, it's still left over.
from World War II. But I flew a bunch of pizzas in, and brew day. I don't know what happened to that beer. That was not the highlight of the day. That was the highlight of the day.
But Jim on the couch was making up fucking pizzas from the basement. He's just slinging them out
Jim
there.
was so funny because in St. Louis they don't when you do bacon on a pizza, they don't crumble it up. It's like strips.
Oh, wow.
Jimmy, for 2 hours, he was just looking at the pizza and he goes, full fucking strips.
Jim, your thoughts on strips versus crumbles?
Strips are good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
They don't hold the pizza back. Like when you bite into it, you got to really get through it, right? I mean,
You do, but I think
Unless
Long
they're
Island,
really
you get-
crispy.
They were crispy bacon.
if
whatever,
if you do good crispy
Yeah.
bacon,
Yeah,
it'll just
yeah.
break apart.
And also with that pizza, it was cut into squares,
Yeah.
so it was smaller bites.
that makes a little
It's
more
like
sense.
cracker pizza.
But the bacon on pizza is tops for me. That and a little green pepper or something
Yeah.
good there. Anything else that you can kind of highlight that would kind of stand out for us New Yorkers that would just sound ridiculous?
I mean that. Well, yeah. So that cracker thin, square cut slice from the Midwest. That's a thing, and then Detroit style is the jam, man. Like that whole backstory. I learned. I mean, I have a few friends in Detroit, and they were like, "Yeah, it's like old oil pans from the Ford factory or whatever that they would bake these."
Oh
pizzas
yes,
in.
I've seen
And
this.
so they. I mean, obviously not like real oil pans,
Right.
No, but yeah, this
Cast iron kind of.
deep.
Yeah, it's like a pan that would catch oil or whatever, and they put so much butter in this thing
Yep.
before they place the crust in. So that's a thicker. It's like a grandma style.
Yes.
But just there's so much like crusty.
And they don't clean the
oil
pans.
in there.
No, they
It's so
don't.
good.
They don't
Old
like wash
Valvoline.
them. They don't wash them. They
Oh, after the first use. Yeah.
so it
just stays
seasons the
oily.
pan.
Yeah.
Right. So when we do open a tasting room, we're literally going to bring, you know,
7
it's
different
gonna
styles
be-
of pizzas
it's just
coming
going to be
in.
different
And
styles.
White Castles.
And White
Yeah,
Castle.
White Castle,
White
yeah.
Castle.
Oh God, just 30
No.
rack of White Castle.
The all my anniversary parties, we always had White Castle.
Yeah?
because it was right down the fucking block.
Yeah. I mean, you could walk to it for the
Yeah.
most
Well,
part.
we did many times.
Oh God. What was the first thing you ordered at White Castle? Was it cheeseburgers? Is that your thing?
Double cheeseburger.
Double cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
2 patties, 1 set of bun.
Yeah.
No bun in the middle, right? For
No,
those doubles?
no. Doubles have a.
Yeah, just 2 patties. But there's a bun in the middle.
There's a bun in the middle.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm down with that. It's too much filler. I need
A lot of cheese though.
I need the grade D meat and some more
Lot
onions.
of fucking cheese.
Yeah. All
The
right.
steam.
Yeah. I need
Didn't
all the
someone go there,
steam.
like, complain about the steam?
Yeah, when back in the day we went there, like all a little drunk, ordered White Castle, and my friend's like, I paid for the steaming. So he sent it back. They had,
I want the double steam.
steaming.
More steam, please.
I mean, how bad did they have to be at White Castle to send them back?
I'm sure they don't get good reviews on Yelp. Like the first Yelp review. Loved it that night. Blew up my bathroom the next day.
Next
Flooded
day,
my basement.
not so much.
It was a double flush or upper decker.
Oh,
Couldn't have any room to
man.
move. I want to give you guys an opportunity to give us some information. So right now, where can we find the beer? If people are looking, is there a way to quickly identify and know where the beer is located?
So on our website, if you buy a can, you can scan the QR code, which takes you to the website. We have the whole listing of everywhere we're in cans,
Okay.
and everywhere we're on tap.
But if you don't have a can to scan, what's the easiest way?
And it's scan.
You're always going to get this beer at West Babylon Superstar.
There you go.
There we go.
There you go, Robbie.
Robbie.
And by the way,
Robbie
Winter
Pandas.
Superstar,
Robbie Pandas.
which is where I go, and I can find it very easily. But he has
You're
both
gonna
of them
get
now.
Right. So you're going to get it from Country Beer and Beverage Bar, St. James Beverage, Ice Cold Beer Distributor, Bullseye Wholesale, Setauket Beer and Beverage, Comac Beverage, TJ McBrews.
No, TJ.
Yep. Shoreline Beverage, Long Island Beverage.
Jesus Christ,
On
he
the
knows
tap.
every single one off tap. Like you've been to every
Okay.
single one.
Now where can I
You're
get
not
it?
even reading it. I see you looking all around.
Where can I get it that's like I could go to a restaurant or a bar?
Ah,
Oh, well, right now you could go to Hopscotch Bottle Shop.
Nice.
buddy.
Sal's, Jackson's back in our home.
Jackson's,
hood.
yes.
Yeah, Big Belly Q, The Bench, Country Corner, and Burgerology in
Corner.
Huntington.
Nice.
Wow. I mean, Jeremy, that's impressive that you knew every single fucking place without
I'm the social
even
media
reading
guy,
it.
dude.
It's
That's
almost
what I
like
do.
he's in charge of making sure that's on the website.
I definitely appreciate that. Holy shit! Sorry, I
But if you go to twohavensbrewing.com, that's
Yeah.
where we list everything.
And you can look that
you
up.
click on it, and under each name of where it is, you can click on it, get you directions right to that place.
The bigger get is, you have a next release kind of sort of plan. You're thinking about the Pilsner, maybe the lager. What's your anticipation for the next beer release? What do you think the date timing is going to be?
Well, I was hoping they were going to do a 15% barley wine from summer.
We still have some
in
limited supply.
in
9.6 stout.
19.3 ounce cans.
Holy shit! Can you imagine what a baller you would be to fucking do
A barley one in a 19 ounce.
barley one in a 19. That's a Paulie thing.
Fuck.
Jeremy's working on getting us into the 7-Eleven, so I mean,
There we go.
All in Penn Station. Can you imagine that train ride home if everyone's drinking a fucking barley wine on the way home?
And the best part would be you make them in 4-packs. Oh. Yeah. It's like pint flights. I had that idea years and years
Pint
ago.
flights.
Right? I
Dear
mean, you go
Jesus.
to a brewery, get these little flights, these little 2-3 ounce pint flights. That was my idea way back when.
It comes with a ticket for Uber.
Yes. Yes, you get 15% off if you take an Uber.
Here's the problem with it,
Pint
though.
flights.
By
you
the
didn't
time
take
I
an
get
Uber, you
to
didn't get the beer here.
No.
By the time I get to the third pint, though, the beer's warm, so you got to put it in a very distinct way of drinking it. So, like a nice cold lager to start, and you build your way up.
Well,
Maybe
first
the
of all,
IPA is
if you
next.
don't drink it fast enough,
Yeah, you're a dick. I
You're
know.
a
I got
pussy.
it. I know. I got it.
that's what I'm gonna.
But it's
I'm
a
going with
pint
right there.
flight, 16
Pint-
ounces. What's 4
pint
times
flights.
16?
64.
40,
64.
60.
It's a fucking
It's a growler. You're
Yeah.
going to drink a growler worth of beer in under, what, a half an hour?
Yeah.
Holy balls,
You
dude.
get your name on the wall.
Yeah, oh, my God.
See?
See?
It's a hell of a mug club.
I could do it.
That's why I like these guys.
I could do
They
it.
got the fucking
I
ideas.
can do it. It's not that I can't do it. It's that I regret it the
All
minute
I'm
I did
going to
it.
say is this. I'll be at, well, then that's 16 ounce.
Yeah.
I was going to say I'll be at Root. I'll be at Root and Branch.
Yeah.
And I'll fucking have 4 or 5 beers of me in an hour.
Yeah.
But those are
8
they're-
ounce.
They're 10 ounce. I
Yeah,
believe.
you
10
can
ounce,
actually a short
like
or a
these.
half. Yeah, I mean you could do that, but to 64 ounces to drink. So what I'm saying is you'd have to plan it out, right? You'd have to have
Now,
your,
let
like
me
your
ask you.
darker beers.
Let me
later.
ask you.
Yeah,
If you had 64 ounces of water
yeah.
or 64 ounces of beer, which
would-
one do you finish first?
Beer.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
100%. No, I don't like water.
Oh, nobody does.
No, that's not true. That people drink water like crazy. I don't
drink,
like
I
water.
drink water all
Do
the
you?
time.
I don't.
All the
Just has
time.
I don't.
beer in it.
I drink Gatorade. I don't. Gatorade. I'll
Man,
drink
this
peach iced tea.
Fucking Dave's on me, man.
I don't drink soda. The soda's not my
No,
thing.
no.
But I could. Beer is my liquid. Like I'll drink.
Well, your last name's O'Toole.
I know,
God
but it's
damn it.
It's not. It gets about my heritage. It's about my goddamn liver, which is built to serve.
Right. It's your liver.
Gentlemen, really appreciate you guys being on the show tonight. I want this opportunity to kind of highlight, give us all the contact information. Anything else that you have, guys, coming up? Any like major events or anything that you have?
Festivals, something.
Festival, anything like that.
going
I guess the
on?
most
Yeah.
recent, the most upcoming event, which will be promoted more as we get into June 27th, trivia night at the Country Corner in Setauket.
Oh, love that place.
So we'll be there, and then we got some other stuff in the works, but nothing's been completely ironed out yet. So one day at a time, but we got plenty more stuff.
But we'll always make those announcements on Instagram, Facebook, and on the website.
What's the contact for that? If you just go type in
It's
Two
at
Havens.
at Two Havens Brewing.
Yeah, Two Havens.
And we also
Brewing.
have a tasting on June 24th at Comac Beverage.
See,
Ah,
Jim on
here
the
we go.
couch coming through.
Jim on the couch. He's right on it.
Yeah,
on it.
Comac
Jer-
Beverage.
Jeremy was chomping at the bit, but he
Jeremy's like, what do you fuckers better say about that tasting?
And that one will
Come
will be
on,
poured
Jimmy.
in
What about
person.
the tasting, Jimmy?
I said it.
I would also like to say,
I gave him his
for
premiere
those
now.
who have been listening and like what we're about, if you want to put together an event or anything like
Yeah.
that, I mean, we're
There we
all
go.
game because obviously we like having a good time and can help put.
We bring the
something fun
party.
together.
There you go.
Yeah, bring the party.
Well, there's 15 of you, so I'm sure you.
Makes it easy.
One of you is going to fucking start it
One
off.
of you's gonna get it
No,
going.
you know, like Jimmy likes to say, we're the Wu-Tang of local breweries.
There you go. Which one are you? Are you Ghostface Killer?
No, I'm old ODB. all day.
Oh, here we go.
Well, I'd be the method man to the group because I like to. And by the way, you have a DJ, you have a cook, you have the crew and everyone else involved. So you guys have the whole package. So really appreciate you guys for being on the show
Yeah,
tonight. Thanks only for coming out. Two Havens Brewing on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Go ahead and just search them out on the InstaTubes and anywhere
All of
else you
them.
can find them. And you know, follow up. And of course, if you want to go enjoy the beer, go over to Hopscotch Bottle Shop.
Hopscotch Bottle Shop.
On tap right now. They will have it for you and ready to go. And,
And
really,
then you can get a nice grilled cheese sandwich.
oh
and,
my God, all of that stuff.
And
Anything to make Jim on the couch completely jealous of
Yeah.
life in general. He's like,
Jim
well,
on the, that I'm telling you, they need
what
to be
if,
a beer.
wait, what
Jim
if
on
you,
the couch.
What if you did a food collab with Ryan and Jim on the couch?
Oh wow!
Oh
There you go.
shit! And then like do your next release with that.
Jim on the couch.
We got this. We got this. We'll set it up.
Excellent.
Gentlemen, really appreciate you for coming in. This is the Word with Mike, Pete, and Steve, GovsRadio.com. Any last words before we get out of here, Steven?
Yeah, don't take any sloppy cocks, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
No, none in your White Castle burgers because
Nope.
they just ruin your night.
Nope.
This is the Word with Mike, Pete, and Steve, GovsRadio.com. And we out.
Well, that's 2 hours of your life that you'll never get back.
Are you kidding me?
Please hang up and try again.
This has been The Wort on Govs Radio. I hope you're drunk enough.